Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Cannaverse Quadcast podcast. I am Mayhem.
I am GrofessorX.
Here we are back in the Quadcast studios for episode 7.
Today's show is sponsored by FebFest in the 6, presented by Two Dope Moms. That's coming up February 25th and 26th from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. both days. And that will be in Toronto's East End. The ladies at Two Dope Moms are bringing another Canna grade market to the East End of the 6th, the last weekend of February. Completely sets of vendors both days, premier legacy brand vendors on both days of this exclusive event. Obviously, it's a indoor consumption lounge the entire time. There'll be giveaways, door prizes, music the entire night, food the entire night, and it's free. Visit or follow Two Dope Moms. We'll put the info on the product on the podcast description. Follow Two Dope Moms on Instagram or check out quadcast.ca's events blog as usual for more info. And of course, check in on quadcast.ca daily or subscribe for info on new cannabis community events coming to the city.
Fuck you! It's not illegal, bitch! Are we gonna get high?
Is that Dali kicking it in there?
Well, it's nice to be back in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about my recent Cannaverse experience in Aruba later in the podcast. However, today we have a killer special guest joining us for the traditional tally call of what the fuck we smoking today.
And for the remainder of the podcast.
And for the remainder of the podcast, we got our buddy Dave Seeley from at King's Court Comedy.
Good day. What's up?
Welcome, my friend.
Thank
so
you.
pleased to have you. And Professor, what the fuck are we getting mangled with today?
Well, me, Dave, and yourself will be smoking some Snow Leopard Pink. This is a special edition exotic from Designer Dank. It is a mix of snow lotus and tiger melon. 28.3%.
She brings up
THC
there nice
on
and
average.
high.
Yeah, she's
Damn.
she's just. Well, I mean, Dave was coming, right? I mean, Dave
Yeah.
Seeley's here, so fuck. It's not like I'm gonna get regular on sweet. We have to go and find some of the fire, you know. And as I light it, I'll tell you, it's apparently the effects are relaxed and euphoric.
So this is exactly what this is up our alley. Now, obviously, this came off the internet, so once we smoke it, we'll give you a better taste. But it's supposed to taste tropical, earthy, piney, used for pain, depression, anxiety, and all that other jazz. But you know what? We're just here to get fucking high.
That's it. And talk with Dave Seeley, one of Toronto's up-and-coming cannabis comedians out there. Well, comedians in general who's just kind of embedded in the cannabis community.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mr. High Energy.
That I am. Oh my
Absolutely.
God, that spliff looks so big. GrofessorX, I guess
Now
it's
I finally
time.
have a witness.
I guess
finally
it's
have a
time
witness.
to get lit, lifted, fried, and fucked up, man.
Fucking
Bring
right.
on the fade.
If
Holy
you
shit.
know, almost we're getting funny, foul, and flagrant tonight.
100%.
All of it.
100%.
All of it.
Pre-game.
Yeah.
Which we'll be talking about soon. Dave is bringing another awesome event to the Dankforth comedy event with him and like-minded individuals, cannabis comedy comedians coming through and putting on an amazing show. So we're going to talk about that a little later in the podcast. But first things first, Dave. As I pass you the spliff,
Shit.
What are your thoughts on that bad boy there? Obviously, the smell's out there. Fuck, it's got amazing
Oh,
taste.
it smells
Oh
nice.
my lord!
Yeah.
Not only does it smell nice, that stuff tastes so damn
It's all
good.
about the taste,
it's
man.
smooth. Everything Mayhem listed about the qualities of this are right.
Yeah,
but
you know
just
what,
in
right?
general, this is some fine ass fucking weed, man.
Well, like I said, we had a special guest. We have a special guest coming to the Quadcast studio. So and
It's not
obviously-
often internet and our smoke
Yeah,
coincides.
usually the internet's pretty fucking off. I'll be honest with you, the internet.
Yeah, they're usually
I'd
off.
say this is like
Ooh.
50%. 50% of the time they're right, but this is a real sweet strain, definitely.
Definitely. Thanks for making a brother feel welcome.
Well,
the
you know.
kickback on that when you blow it out is so tasty. That
It
shit
tastes-
is fantastic.
Tastes good, man. Tastes good.
Damn.
So,
I like it.
long story short, Dave, why don't you tell us, Well, for this special podcast, sorry, before I start fucking, I'm already high from one toke of this fucking joint.
Yeah,
For this special podcast, we wanted Dave to join us and discuss the amazing connection between comedy and cannabis culture, which is basically the point of this podcast and the reason we're lucky enough to have Dave join us to discuss this. So, comedy and cannabis culture and how they continue to grow within each other. So, I don't know, Mayhem, you got a question for Mr. Dave?
Uncle Dave, what came first, cannabis or comedy?
That actually is a really good question. I thought about it for a second, as you can just tell. I'd have to say comedy. I didn't know it was comedy when I was growing up. I walked by a room and I thought there was a bunch of black uncles talking in a room, and I found out it was two of my uncles listening to a Red Fox album.
Oh,
I thought that was just normal. And then out in the kitchen, along with the macaroni pie, was the smell of weed. So I guess they both came along at the same time.
Yeah, those became familiar fragrances, I guess.
Yes, sir.
so obviously this leads into the next one. How were you first introduced into the cannabis culture?
Well,
I guess it was it your uncles?
It was actually maybe by accident, a pleasant one, through family. But I actually grew up in Jane and Finch, so the cannabis culture back then was completely different. That was the first influx of immigrants coming through the Trudeau's dad days and shit.
Yes.
So I actually was smoking weed before I knew it was weed. I just thought that was the cigarettes that the Jamaicans smoked, and it felt a lot better.
Well, I used to hear it was called, like, people would say, oh, those are French cigarettes.
Wacky tobacco.
Wacky tobacco or French cigarettes. We used to hear ganja sticks. Those are ganja sticks.
Yeah, we just used to call it Rasta dust. That shit set them up.
So basically it was just part of the community at the time.
It wasn't part of the community. It was a part of the culture.
Yeah.
It was a part of the lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was coming over.
100%. Growing up with a lot of the Rastas and stuff like that, again, it wasn't part of the community as much as it was part of the culture. It was a way of life, and I was introduced to that way of life before I actually realized what people talk about now, about it's weed and it's this bad thing. It was introduced to me in a positive way.
That's right.
Because you got a chance to actually talk to people that were not really under the umbrella of the corporate agenda that was being pushed out in North America. These were fresh people to the country that knew it as a plant and only ever knew it as a plant. And sure, like even in Jamaica, it was technically illegal. And a lot of people have that misconception that in every island it's like free reign and you can just, everyone's smoking weed.
You'll go to jail.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, it's
still
same.
not legal.
Not
that it's legal here either, but it's definitely not legal over there. So, but the I guess the fine / punishment for it is a lot less. So over there, they're like, you can grow 1 or 2 plants. I'm sure the police won't bother you. But yeah, back in the day when we were growing up here, you grew 1 or 2 plants, and that was your last gardening experiment.
Pretty much.
That was it.
Pretty much. And it was what they called homey back then. Now, if someone has some homegrown, that's the shit you want. Because they only grow in 2 plants, which is quad worthy. None of that parents in the middle of your Playboy shit. Not that weed.
They definitely
Underground hidden.
Yes, sir.
Definitely not that shit. Well, that brings us to. I heard you have well, obviously we just talked about it. I heard you recently traveled. Tell us about how you found your cannabis culture there. Was it Aruba?
No,
Bahamas.
Come on now. There's a lot of names.
God.
I haven't been in Aruba. That's okay. That was Mr. Mayhem. I have been there, but I'm actually half Bayesian. So that's from Barbados, not Bahamian.
Yeah.
That is the United States of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I'm from the jewel of the Caribbean, Barbados
the jewel
again.
of the Caribbean, yeah.
And when it comes to the cannabis culture down there, I do spend a lot of time down there, and I've noticed a lot of changes. Again, it's not legal down there. They're just recently starting to be okay with you smoking a joint in certain areas as long as you're away from the general public. Never mind mass amounts of good weed.
How often have you traveled there in like the last, let's say, 10 years?
I've traveled there.
Like what was a
6 out of the last 10 years I've spent in Barbados. The most recent time I was there was 2 months ago, and I will be going back shortly.
But like when you went roughly around 10 years ago, compared to now. What's the cannabis? How is the cannabis culture evolved in terms of legality and in terms of acceptance?
So in acceptance, It has changed a little bit. It is a little bit more accepted. 10 years ago, Rasta's brown dirt weed, pretty much CD
Jamaican
sticks.
press.
And that's if you did know somebody. Now it's again a bit more accepted, and it's funny because there's a lot more strains coming out. I'm hearing them mention a lot more strains,
Really?
and coming from Canada and knowing about legacy weed. It's funny hearing them mention strains. They mention a purple, and I laugh because to them it means a lot to say purple or see purple. To me, I'll pass on that because our menu is a lot greater, but they're starting to know about these things.
We're definitely spoiled here when it comes to strain selection.
Big time.
Yeah, they're
Big
blessed
time.
though. When I touch the island, I'm lucky enough to, let's say, have friends on the other side, so I get to have some homemade and homegrown legacy product while I'm
nice.
there, and I get to spread the wealth. And these guys are all
You
new.
must be the most fucking loved guy on the island.
I'm the most loved guy wherever I go. But I bring these guys some concentrates. I've been turning these guys on to a whole new world. And they still think it's black magic. I have to explain to these guys that it's actually weed. They're afraid to smoke it.
Mayhem, well, he just got back from Aruba.
Wow.
Bon dia.
Yeah, and he was, first question I asked him was, man, so like, what's the cannabis culture like out there?
Tell me.
Okay, so in Aruba, there is no cannabis culture. It is very hidden. But if you talk to people there, they are very open to talk to you about it. And it's illegal, obviously. You can't smoke or grow it anywhere. But anybody on the beach that has a skidoo or kite surfing or something like that, you talk to those guys.
Anybody in the
they'll hook you up. I met 4 people. I got their names. I got their WhatsApp. They were like so excited that, we're doing a podcast about the culture because they want it to be a part of their culture over there. They really do.
I'm assuming there's a ton of advocates over there for sure.
But
being
there brought me back to the first days of smoking pot. There was no name.
Yes, sir.
The guy's like, I'll get you some weed. And that is it. You didn't ask for sativa. I didn't ask for sativa. I didn't ask for, no, it was just weed. Yeah. That was it. He's like, I get you weed, man. Don't worry.
But if you wanted coke.
If you wanted that stuff, basically, I was told, go into any casino, sit in a stall, and somebody will come up beside you and, hey, do you need anything?
And that shit will melt your face off. Remember, it is only 45 minutes off the coast of Colombia, so that's the real shit, not the 20% you have over here, $33 bumps, I heard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but the joke, I heard... the joke of that is like it is, and what am I here? If you're in Cuba, if you're in Aruba, if you're even in Fiji or any of these island states / provinces, you are actually hard pressed to find cannabis, but you will trip over lines of coke.
100%.
Sir.
You know why? Cocaine is a rich man's drug, and let's face it.
And it is tourism
in
based,
those areas. You're at a casino. They know who's there at a casino. People that are spending money.
100%. It's funny.
On the beach, who's there? People that are like chilling. So that's where you find the marijuana.
It's funny that you brought this up because I know we're talking about cannabis, but this cross where when you do go away, the cocaine being so readily available.
Yes. Yeah.
I have found out even in Barbados as well. The last time I was there, there's a lot of cocaine as well. We're close off the South American coast. And unfortunately, cocaine is cheaper than getting some good, what they call exotic. They call our weed here exotic. So it's cheaper to get a gram of cocaine in Barbados than it is to get a half quarter of exotic. It costs you in Barbados right now $40 American for an actual real killer gram of cocaine. And it costs you, if you know somebody, $25 per gram of exotic weed, and that's that purple I was talking about, all the way up. So we're talking a lot of money.
There is no such thing. If you buy half an ounce, it's cheaper.
It's unbelievable.
I hear that.
$20 a gram.
That's what the Mayhem
$80
saying.
a half quarter.
If you know somebody.
Yeah.
If you know somebody.
And who knows what you're getting either.
They don't know legacy over there, which I wanted to say. This word legacy, guys. I love it. It sounds so better than Black Market. The
100%.
English language is great. I think I'm gonna use
Let's face
that.
it, Black Market was given by
White people.
Well, by the government.
White people.
No, 100%. Any kind
Just
of
to make it sound bad.
Look, at the end of the
100%,
day, I'm pretty sure that the timber industry,
Like the dark web.
the timber industry smear campaign didn't come from a couple of brothers who's really angry at how much hemp was being grown. That's the
It was
angry
by
old
the
guy.
money mongers.
Oh yeah, well I mean the people that control the bulk of wealth, and especially in the 18 and 1900s, we all know who the fuck that was.
Yeah,
so,
did I mention white people?
Yeah, I think it was white people.
Fucking
If we look back at slavery, let's not even go back there.
peanut butter. Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
I hate that one. They're like, hey, black people made peanut butter. Like, I'm sure that's
Peanut butter, pancakes. What's next?
Man, leave Jemima Adams. It's bad enough they fucking outed the lady and now she can't even get a job. Like, think about that. They put another black person out of work. And Jemima had a job for I don't know how fucking long, and now all of a sudden, for the sake
Look at Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Uncle Ben too.
He's on the wheel
What's
too.
Uncle Ben gonna do at 160 years old aside from sell rights?
I think Uncle Ben was in the room listening to Red Fox and smoking weed when I was young. I think so.
See, that's your real inspiration.
Funny thing
you
is,
didn't know it.
I remember Red Fox and
He was the best, right? You big dummy. Buffalo butt. He had the best fucking one-liners, and for him, he was one of those comedians that he would just have to look at you. Like there wasn't his facial expressions were so fucking like burning into your skull. He'd give you that dirty look, man.
Every one of my drunk uncles, that is Red Fox.
Yeah,
Every one of my drunk uncles, and I got a lot of them.
Yeah, it'd be hard not to laugh in a situation like that. I'd be laughing my ass off, man. Fuck. Even one Red Fox is too much for me. Fuck.
That's where Richard Pryor got a lot of his comedy from.
Bless Richard Pryor.
Same with Eddie Murphy. I mean, look at the Raw special. I mean, Eddie Murphy basically sat there and just told stories about his family picnics, and that destroyed everyone in the audience.
If anybody wants to know why I'm the way I am, the three people that have been mentioned as comedians before were a staple of my life, and my 5 drunk uncles.
There you go. 5 drunk uncles are like the real rooted comedy stuff, but then that breeds you into other things.
Yes, sir.
And that's what, you know what, kind of for me too. For me, it was like my dad was a super serious dude, and my mom. But I mean, they weren't really like the only comedy I was ever the only comedy I was ever allowed to watch that was English when I was growing up in my house was Benny Hill.
Oh my God.
Out of all things, the only thing my dad would deem worthy of watching in the English language was Benny Hill.
That's not a bad choice.
And they didn't even talk really all that much in Benny Hill either.
But funny as shit.
Oh, yeah. Like
you remember that shit.
Oh, man. I remember skits. Right now, when I say Benny Hill, I think of him smacking that poor old guy on the head all the time.
Yeah.
Always ends up tapping him on his bald head.
My all-time favorite is when they did the A-Team.
The best.
When he did the A-Team. And the guy punched him and his mohawk moved over.
Oh, yes. Do y'all remember, since you're talking about Benny Hill, I know we're roughly the same age. We're a little older here and stuff like that. Y'all remember the David Allen show? Remember the comedian guy, the British man with the one finger? And he had kind of a show out the same time as Benny Hill.
Wait a second.
Yeah, he'd come out and he was missing like a digit. He'd come out and always and sit on a chair. Yes, I'm almost positive. I'm almost positive his name was David Allen. He's a British comedian. He had a show roughly the same time as Benny Hill.
What was the name? Oh, same time.
Yeah, it was roughly the same time.
I don't remember.
That same British dry humor kind of thing.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved Monty Python and all that stuff growing up as well. And I'll be honest with you, Monty Python for me was like funny, but funny enough that I can watch it once and I'm good. You know, it wasn't like I never really. There was like, which we'll get into. We're obviously going to get into in a bit, like movies that you can watch 1,000 times because they're hilarious. But I know that when I was growing up, I mean, the pinnacle of comedy was Monty Python. That's what everybody was talking about. You know, that was like, and it was.
Dave Allen, he's an Irish comedian.
There you go. Sorry, Irish. I'm sorry.
Allen,
Shout out to Potatoes.
He hits religious jokes a lot.
No, he's actually funny. So I'm glad I can let you guys drop that. A lot of people don't know about him, but it's the same time frame, and he's a funny cat. Irish.
I'll be honest,
stuff.
this freaking
for me in the 80s, 90s,
that weed.
One thing I'd always sneak around.
Cat scratch fever from that leopard boy. Telling you, boy, straight cat scratch fever.
Shout out to Ted Nugent.
Shout out to Teddy.
Yeah,
Teddy. Okay, geez, since we're talking about freaking weed, Fuck,
See, I
man.
knew this was gonna happen. We have this motherfucker
Dave.
on.
Yes, sir. I'm ready for you.
What's your to go strain? Like, what do you go to? What are you more into?
What's your
Sativas,
favorite?
indicas? Do you really even
Again,
give a
brought
fucking
up
shit?
in another podcast. We're a bit older. I want good weed.
Yeah.
I want to smoke good weed.
All right.
That's
But we
it.
get
That's
that. Look,
fair.
and we share the exact, me and Mayhem share the exact same sentiment, 100%. But right now, obviously, you are a cannabis connoisseur.
Indica.
Okay, indica. But within the indicas, are you a sweet and citrusy guy? Are you a dank and dirty guy?
Like, yeah, you hitting
do
the
you
pinks,
like? Do you like
the
the pink
gelatos.
stuff? Do you like more the sweet stuff? Do
You know
like
what?
the dank?
Funny. Sure, I'm hitting the pinks because, like you guys have mentioned, there's pink everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
Which I don't mind, but it's not something I'm going to
And I'm-
seek out.
I'm not a huge
Gelato,
fan of
I'll
pink.
take something on the gelato side.
more a gelato
Yeah,
man?
that's
Yeah.
pretty tasty. I like
Okay.
that all the
Ice
time.
cream cake and gelato.
Stuff like that. Okay, you're
Yes,
like on
sir.
the sweet.
Yeah, love the concentrates. An ice cream cake,
Oh, yeah,
an
you
ice
know what?
cream
I'll
cake
tell you
shatter
this.
or something, or an ice cream cake press. That is beautiful.
I'm more of
beautiful.
a danks. I'm more of a Bubba's like and a bluefin tuna type dank
Nice.
person. However, in the concentrates, I don't do many, but
Yes,
in the
sir.
few concentrates I've had, it does taste a lot nicer when it's like an ice cream or a gelato. Like
Yes,
It's creamy.
The
That's
terps, the
it's-
terps.
Oh yeah, especially when
Beautiful
it's an out.
taste.
If I had a friend of mine, shout outs to Still Drippin'. A friend of mine, he grew some outdoor of ice cream that he got some clones from I believe it was Growers World in Toronto. We got a couple ice cream clones there, and grew them out. Shout out to Growers World, and. He had two plants, like huge bastards. They grew up to like, I don't know, fucking 6.5 feet. But he immediately, like the next day, pressed them and got like this yellow, like golden looking shit that
Beautiful.
smelled like candy, man.
Yeah.
It's like the terps get so much more preserved when they're in that kind of setup. You know, like the terps just literally like you smell everything, taste everything. It's insane.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, absolutely. I think that's okay. So you're an indica man more. You're more of the.
I prefer.
You
I
prefer,
prefer. I'm a good weed man. You know.
Which takes us into.
I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Which takes us into basically what's your favorite way of intake? Blunts, joints, bong hits, extracts. Like we just. What's your?
I
if you get
prefer-
to choose.
I'm gonna smoke a joint.
Right.
Every single time, I like the ritualistic nature.
So let me ask you this: you do a set one night, you do a big set, goes over amazing. You're in the best fucking mood possible. You feel like celebrating. You feel like going out doing something a little special. And obviously, you like smoking joints, but is there anything aside, or is a joint what you go for?
Again, I love smoking that joint. I'll smoke one before a set. I'm working though.
Yeah.
I don't get all twisted and
You
stuff
don't wanna
like
get
that.
too-
No, I'm at work.
Absolutely.
I'm at work, guys. And
You
when
do-
we go, that's
you're
a
not in
whole
the dab
different-
line. You're not in the dab
No,
line before.
but when you say, do I want to do something special, I actually do bring my pen with me. I'll bring my
Yeah.
dab pen with me, and I'll
Okay.
always have it
hit
loaded
a
with
dab.
diamonds and stuff, and I'll always hit that up.
Right,
Whether it's a
right,
good
right.
set or not, there's nothing wrong with that.
So, to me, I love the joint. For
Yeah,
me,
me too.
like you said,
I
it's
think
almost
it
like
is
a
an old
ritual.
school
Sitting
thing.
there,
100%.
I
breaking,
think it's
rolling
a-
it.
Love it.
Once
But
again, we're all roughly the
also
same age.
the longevity.
100%.
I'm smoking that joint for a longer period of time than taking 2 bong hits.
Yeah. Although in Canada, it is kind of cool to like get high in 15 seconds. If you have to
yes.
go outside, if you have to go outside, fire up a quick bong hit and then go inside, you're good. Aside from going outside, and freezing your balls off trying to finish an L paper.
Yeah, I got
Whoa.
killer lungs too. That's the one thing I can.
Yeah, you can-
blow
if you
like a
could-
gram in
Yeah.
a bowl.
Yeah, man, if you could
in like
Hoover it
2
down.
holes. I can,
Yeah.
but then I melt it, right?
Yeah.
you're done.
Just fucking melted. But it is nice though, the convenience of.
Yeah,
getting
that's
blasted
the
in
only thing.
15
And like I know
seconds.
Yeah.
dabs, I wish I could handle them. I just did. This past Saturday. It was a Blazers market there at the
Great
dance floor.
market.
Oh, that was a great.
Awesome,
time, man.
awesome.
So
Always
many cool
amazing.
things. Some of the
Amazing.
lemonade, actually, some of the lemonade we're drinking
Yeah,
right now.
props.
The lemonade that I drank.
I'll put that I drank. Yeah, he already finished it. Babita Verde, Babita Verde Canada. It's a THC. It's a legacy market drink company, and they have THC and CBD infused full spectrum drinks. There's lemonades. I know there's like a mango and black pear, and there's actually CBD water. Straight CBD water
Wow.
that you don't taste nothing. It's actually really nice, like Evian water, kind of, and it just has CBD. They have nanotechnology, water soluble nanotechnology.
It is
But check
delicious.
them out. I'll put their info in the podcast notes. But yeah, definitely check them out. It was so good that Dave already destroyed his. I think it's 75 milligrams per. Yeah, 75 milligrams per, and it says RSO. So like,
That's what it does
I'm
say, yeah.
super interested to see how in the fuck you're getting RSO floating in that bad book. It does not separate. I mean, I'm looking at the bottom of it right now. It's all the same. It's been from the beginning. I haven't shaken it once.
And it isn't even about, for me, it isn't even about the content. It's great that there's THC in that and that it's full spectrum, if that's what it is. The taste of it, and that's
why I
great. The
get it.
75% for me, I'm a hard hitter. I'm that rabbit hole guy.
Yeah.
But outside of that, it's absolutely great. The packaging is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
The packaging was awesome.
super
Yeah.
professional. I mean, for a legacy brand,
The taste is amazing. You don't
clearly
even...
says 19 and over on it. It's
No
got
back
the
taste.
THC sign on it, and it's honestly a really good lemonade. Like if this was
Awesome.
not infused,
Yeah.
It's a
I'm
kick-ass
I would pick
lemonade.
it up from the Metro. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a kick-ass.
Shout outs for quenching our pasties here from the Snow Leopard Pink.
Oh, and you know what I like about it too? You see the suggested use on the side?
yeah, I see
What
that.
does it say?
It
The
tells you, like,
suggested
you know,
use, it breaks it down.
What does it say? The
If you're a
It says,
beginner,
there.
drink a third of it if you're normal. Drink 6 of these if you're Dave, and
And then the whole thing, if you're a
If you're
connoisseur.
Mayhem. I think it's
Thanks for the shout out on the
It
6.
says-
Listen,
It says 6 for Dave. There's a 6 and a picture of your face on the side of it.
Pretty much, yeah, right
send
here.
them on
Dave.
through. I'm all about support. I will
But,
support your
uh,
drink. Any support y'all send it through at King's Court Comedy. We
Yeah,
could,
yeah.
we could. I got you.
Put Dave to the test. Send
I
Dave
got you.
send Dave a case to try out.
So as a connoisseur, you got to finish the whole bottle.
Yeah, you do have to finish the whole bottle.
I did,
Speaking of which,
and-
I guess I'm a pussy. Hold on, let me finish drinking my
We're
water.
done.
You're not a pussy. It's actually a good drink.
Yeah, it's a nice sipper. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. I just
I'm
drank
savoring it
it.
because it tastes so damn good. It
Yeah,
tastes really,
I just
really
wanted
good.
to kill it before it got warm.
Oh yeah, that too. So,
So-
which brings us to, as we ramble on, drinking really good lemonade. That's infused.
Lemonade, that
Lemonade.
refreshing drink.
anyway, we're getting into that. But so yeah, I guess these kind of go hand in hand. So like, we're gonna get into favorite. We'll ask Dave first. Obviously, Dave, do you have a first-hand, top of the heap cannabis stoner movie that you go to? That's your main. That you would say is your favorite.
Up in Smoke, I will always go. I'm, again, a little older. I keep saying that. Listen, again, everybody who's 40 and under who may be listening to
100%.
this, y'all are cute bringing that shit. Yeah, I'm actually 50, 50 plus.
You don't look like he's 50.
Yeah, I know people say that, but believe me, I feel like it. I don't look like I hit the wall. I feel like I ran through it. But I'm
Bless.
doing good.
You got
And
that
again,
energy, bud.
Up in Smoke is my thing. Always. I watch that thing once a month.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
sure
that
that's a
thing.
super popular.
I actually went to the movies and watched that with
that's
a Monty Python movie. Shout out Holy Grail.
Nice.
Love it.
Yeah.
See, Holy
Yeah,
Grail. Yeah,
both.
that was one of the better ones.
Double
man. That was
feature.
one of the better
Double
ones.
feature. Double feature.
Yeah, man.
Up in
It's a
Smoke-
bladed rabbit.
Up in Smoke had some killer one-liners.
I know you love that movie.
Just to this day, that part where they get pulled over at the border, and the guy's like, "So how long were you guys in Mexico for?" And they both answer at the same time, like a week, a day.
Yeah.
The guy's like, "So what is it?" He's like, "A weekday." Bro, to this day, that
small
part
jokes
there,
like that.
yeah, it's
Best.
like that was clever.
Yeah.
It was so clever.
Well, that
I
was
learned
the
my
idea.
first Spanish, right?
Yeah.
We backed up on the lawn and said, "Hey, pendejo!" I learned my first Spanish lesson ever. It was the best.
And these guys were stand-up comedians, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They did that shit.
And
like,
they were going
on
against
stage.
the grain, man. Listen,
Yeah.
there was a lot of fucking stigma towards cannabis back then. I mean, they were almost treated as a smut movie. You know,
Yes.
they were trying to bring it out. Like
100%.
they wanted to classify it as a triple X at first. I think.
Yes.
They didn't want to even bring it into theater. It was one of the first. It was probably the first cannabis culture movie that really did numbers in a theater.
That can still hold up to this day.
It can still hold
Still.
up. And hey, there's like Nice Dreams. Nice Dreams was a good one. I remember that was
Yeah.
a really funny movie. I mean, they went on to do a
Still
bunch of
smoking.
Yeah,
Still
all of them.
smoking, yeah. I mean, those are, yeah, I'd say, yeah, those are,
Bert,
that's a fair
Mr. Bert.
assessment.
Mr. Bert.
So,
Yes.
like, you as being a comedian, professional comedian, what,
Who's professional comedian?
You.
if you're a professional.
Not at all. Okay, but go on. Thank you.
Cats out
Thank
the
you.
bag.
Thank
Me
you.
and
But
Mayem
go
have
on.
already seen your set. We've seen you a couple
Yeah,
of times. We've
you're
seen
awesome.
you put on a show. So don't bullshit.
Okay,
us.
thank you.
We're
very
high,
much.
but we're
Thank
not
you very
stupid.
much. Humbled.
So, who was your favorite comedian, both growing up And I would say now, I'm assuming you probably have a different appreciation after doing all this comedy. Who would you say, let's say your top three. I won't even put you on the spot for one. Who are your top three comedians? Inspirational / favorite.
Okay, I'll just throw out. I have to throw out. There's more than three. Has to
Go
be.
5. Go 5.
Go 5.
Okay. I have to go Fox.
Yeah.
Pryor.
Yeah.
I have to.
Agreed.
Murphy. I wanted to get cancer when I was a kid so I could get Make-A-Wish or go on that TV show so maybe I could get a date with Eddie Murphy. And I'm how this nigga gonna think he goes, but I wanted to get cancer. I'm sorry, it's a cancer joke, but certain things don't
You
get
see little
old,
Dave?
like cancer kids. I'm just saying.
You
So
see
those are
60-year-old
three.
Dave burning down Lucky Strikes.
Yeah.
Just trying to get cancer.
Yeah. So those three, right? So Fox, we got Pryor, we got Murphy.
Yeah.
Carlin, there was something about that man who just changed everything.
George Carlin, and we're going to mention him later. He's
and
awesome.
Now I just have to say, Chappelle, this motherfucker's a
Yeah,
goat. I don't care what
Chappelle's-
anybody says about him. This guy is not. He's
You can't
more than
hate
a
on the
wordsmith.
man.
He
No.
is a storyteller, and all
If
of these
you-
men before made him as well who he is today. So
Damn right,
he is.
damn right.
Yeah.
So there's my 5.
He's a student of
Those
comedy.
are my 5.
That's what I love
100%.
about Chappelle's a
Bunch of
student
black
of
men and a white dude
white
that
dude.
fucking taught me a lot.
Yeah,
you know?
George
And my
Carlin.
kids too. It was funny watching that
Listen.
kid show, and he was like the
Yeah.
tank thing, and I'm like, that. You don't even know, kids. I can't wait until
No.
you're 12. I mean, 16
Six-
to watch his shit. You know?
Get him trained early on. Daddy, what's capitalism?
Yeah. Oh, I got you. You're smoked. Oh shit.
Daddy, what's corruption?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
It's
what I. You know what? He
condensation.
was one of the people that really taught. I mean, not just comedy, not just one of my favorite comedians, but what a fucking eye opener.
100%, man.
14-year-old fat little Fareed was sitting there smoking a joint, watching this guy blow his fucking mind about how everything is so out in the open. But just, I mean, you can
and
joke
and
about
people
it.
are still so blind.
The
Oh,
reality of it from
Yeah,
me
he
growing
literally
up. That's
opened
what
my
it was
eyes,
about.
man.
These people were telling stories that sure were funny, but I got like literally growing up around the people I was. This was real life to me. So they were
Yeah.
just telling a story like I
To me,
mentioned.
they were the news. They were comedians were the news.
And would
If I
slap
learned
you in the
anything
back
new,
of the head at the same time. So you
Fucking
knew
right.
that shit was real.
Yeah,
And sure
exactly,
it was
exactly.
funny. Sure it was funny.
blew my mind. But yeah, like anyway, George Carlin is definitely on this list. But so we've basically gone through me and Mayhem. And I'm sure also Dave ended up having pretty much the same notes we did. A connoisseur's true picks. So we tried to separate it in a way. Obviously, they're not in any particular order.
Yeah, we did. This is not. We're not going from top to bottom.
We took from this list, and we'll just quickly discuss each one. As the connoisseur's picks, like the true weed picks or true weed pick movies. You know, movies that are most enjoyable to watch while you're high / or about weed.
About weed in
at
general.
least
Okay,
20% of the movies about it. So, obviously, speaking of Dave Chappelle, Half Baked.
Yeah.
Great movie.
I mean, they're just two, that movie is all about cannabis.
Yes, sir.
Anything, everywhere from the diabetic horse dying to, I mean, Bob Saget standing up asking if anyone's ever sucked dick for weed.
Yeah.
There's moments. I mean, you know, fucking him playing Samson. What's it called? I'm from the beach, boy. Lot of mercy. You know, like that. There was so many fucking moments. That was by far for me, like at least in my 20s, I guess it would have been growing up seeing this movie. I was like, my God, like that was a mind blower.
That was hilarious.
That was a great movie.
Definitely one of the best. And then it was very kind of tiny in the movie, but The Big Lebowski. The Big Lebowski was more, I guess, a stoner movie.
Yes, stoner movie.
Like, to kind of get high and watch. There wasn't really too much to it, except for, I think it was...
When he
was
drops
good?
it.
Yeah, when he drops the roach. He's driving, he drops the roach. And every stoner's had it.
That's happened.
Every weed smoker has been driving somewhere, smoking some weed, listening to some tunes, you know, and just lose yourself for a second. The spliff drops right by your balls or your female genitalia, and you're digging around as everything is burning, and especially if it's a rental, you're tripping out, you know. Everyone's got so Big Lebowski definitely, brought that moment up there. Then there was, I don't know, not too much.
Dude's my.
I'm not gonna
I
lie to
watched
you.
that. That's Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher and the other guy, but he's funny. The guy he's with, I can't
I
remember.
forget
he's
his name as well.
He's from Goonies, or from Goons, and Stifler.
American
He was
Pie.
Stifler.
Yeah, American Pie.
Stifler in American Pie. I'll put his name.
I
I'll put
forget
his
his
name
name.
in the podcast description. I'll put his name in the podcast
Had its
description.
moments, I guess.
But yeah, I didn't watch it, so I can't really. Did you ever watch Dude, Where's My Car?
Yes, I did.
What, any thoughts about that?
No, there were
Not
so
it.
many that came out in and around those times too that
Yeah.
had actually just references
Yes.
to smoking. There's
Yeah.
always those.
I mean,
right?
obviously it was about stoners, but I don't think it was all that much about cannabis in the first place.
Then there was
No.
old, good old How High with Method
Awesome.
Man and
Method
Redman.
Man and Redman. Got blood, got weed.
And I was thinking about that earlier. You know, the part where I want everyone to smoke my shit.
Yeah.
And even when I was younger, you know, you say shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to smoke my. Would you guys do that?
Yeah. I mean, like,
Yeah?
I would. You want people to smoke your shit?
Oh. No, if you died and how they
Oh,
put
to smoke
like
you.
in the movie,
Oh, in the
yeah,
movie, like
would
to
you
smoke
do
my
that?
ashes. To
Yeah,
get someone...
where Buddy goes and gets hit by
bro,
the
I
bus
don't-
and shit.
I'll tell you
like
what
that.
I want to do. When I do die, I want to be cremated and I want to be used like I'm Gaia Green. I want
Yeah,
to be mixed into the
fertilizer.
soil and like some crazy weed, and I want my friends to smoke that weed.
Okay,
Exactly.
You don't mind if I don't smoke that because I'm gonna feel like,
What
hey,
you
what are you
talking
doing?
about?
I'm sucking on for.
No, you're not sucking.
Want
See, you don't. It doesn't get. It's all about the wording.
Well, the English language is
Look,
fantastic.
you could say you were smoking me, and everyone thinks they're doing a drive-by. I mean, but it's a matter of how you say it. You know.
Okay, all right. Well, now that we clarified that, I would be glad to smoke some
Thank
of your.
you. I think I would make pretty good weed. I think
I
that
bet
if I
you would.
break down into ash form, I'm gonna be high in nitrate. I think.
You burn clean too. You
Yeah,
burn clean.
I think
You
my
burn-
pot.
What's Coca-Cola high in?
Coca-Cola and cannabis. What's Coca-Cola? I'm gonna be. You know what? Then don't use me in the beginning. Use me during the second week of flower.
Flour.
And that
That
way,
sweet
that-
bud.
I'll
yeah,
work
that's
almost
sweet,
like
bud.
a natural carbo load.
molasses.
Like take the advanced nutrients carbo load, take the pig off the front, put me on, and that'll be, you'll have cannabinoids and sugar to go. I mean, I'll plump up your buds.
This is good.
I'll plump up your
Mid
buds.
to late flour.
Yeah, mid to
Not
late.
mid to late, second week.
These
Don't
ones-
write me off to mid to late. I'm a second week fucking. Come on,
Shit,
man.
I thought I was the only one that was creepy saying, yeah, I'd smoke that shit. You guys are planning out when to actually add the
I
fucking
told you.
ingredients.
See,
to
here's the
weed.
funny part, Dave. These are-
Connoisseurs are what? That's what this being on the quadcast is
That's
all
what it's
about.
about.
Like, you
This
got,
is it, bud.
damn.
That's what we want. Like, this is a real life conversation here. And but also, in How High, I'll tell you this: Method Man and Redman were my heroes already.
Yes.
Before
Yeah.
that movie
Yes.
even came out, I mean,
Music and weed.
Brick
Music
City,
and weed.
fucking Wu-Tang, like I was just fucking. I mean, they were already introducing me to cannabis sound form, you know, by audiophile, and that's
Protect
how,
your neck.
Yeah, protect your. Oh my god, Wu-Tang was like. I've been to way too many fucking Wu-Tang shows, but nonetheless, shout outs to Wu-Tang.
Yes.
And I really hope you're listening, but you're probably not. But shout out to Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang.
The RZA, the Jizza, the Genie. I won't go through
We
the-
know.
Yeah. Obviously, Cheech and
We
Chong,
already talked about these
earlier.
guys.
Up and Smoking, Nice Green.
Legends.
That kind of goes. I think that'll go in any cannabis conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any real cannabis connoisseur will always say.
And not only that, the fact that, Tommy Chong is still
Yeah, man.
an advocate for the cannabis community.
He's living proof.
Culture.
And always has been. Not
Yes.
not that there's
He
anything
hasn't
bad about
stopped.
people jumping on the bandwagon.
No.
I'm sure
He
there's
is
money
straight
involved.
living
But
proof.
he's
Yeah.
always been from
Yeah.
day
Day
one.
one. He's
Yeah.
been a fighter the
Yeah.
whole time. So
100%. He does, and he spends a lot of his money. He spent some of his freedom and
Yeah.
some of his money defending cannabis.
Cannabis,
Which
exactly.
not a lot of people in the quote unquote Hollywood elite belt really would do. You're not
No,
going to give up a lot of
exactly.
your fame and your money at that point. But then we had quick mention, shout out to, for me, Don't Be a Menace.
Menace.
Don't be a menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Was the movie.
Yeah.
Shout
Marlon
outs to the
Brothers.
Wayne brother.
Which was like a- yeah,
the Wayans
Yeah,
brothers,
that
yeah.
was
That
the
was a
best.
spoof on South Central.
Yeah.
It was a
actually.
spoof on Don't Be a
Menace in
Menace,
Society.
And,
on
yeah.
Juice, on Boys in the Hood.
Exactly. All
Like,
the.
and it was the
They
best.
nailed all of them.
Yeah.
But man, the best scene and the best for me, I've had to bring up with the cannabis is when they're all sitting around playing poker, and there's one boy there got the spliff, and he takes a toke, and he just starts coughing, and gyrating. Drops on and everyone stops laughing, right? And he drops on the ground, foaming at the mouth. Everybody's all silent, looking at each other, and they're like, "Yo, pass me some of that.
Yes,
right
yes.
there.
Yeah, that's how people are. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny how people are? Shit can be all fucked up. You'll be like, yo, I want some of that.
And you know what? Catch this. Here, I'll shoot this one out quick. Me and Mayhem know of. Well, shout out to Blazers Market for showing.
Shout out Blazers Market. Shout out.
He's a G, but he came to my house. Well, he showed me a video of someone we knew who came out to one of the markets, and this gentleman unfortunately is prone to passing out after he hits a couple of hard
bombs.
Right?
Yeah.
He's totally
this was
cool with
known
doing
before.
It. Oh yeah, apparently this
this is a thing for him.
So this is a live. This is a live.
He's on Instagram
feed.
Live, and he's got this online. Anyone can see it.
This is
and he's
going
sitting
well.
there with like two people on the screen. You know, like they're chilling. Yeah, man, whatever. There's like a girl in one corner of the screen, and then these two guys in the one corner, and then the guy. And he takes a hit of his bong, and he starts laughing, and they're like, because like, oh, that's so much smoke. He's like, and all of a sudden, man, fucking flies backwards, legs in the air, bong crashes on the ground.
Takes his lights out.
So the group of dudes in the bottom left corner are like, yo, bro, what do we do, man? Yo, should we gotta call someone or whatever? And then the girl in the corner is silent the whole time. She's looking, she goes, I want that.
I want that.
Yeah, I want that. No, you see, I don't want that. I don't want that.
I don't want that either. No, I'm not trying to leave the planet. I'm trying to chill for a bit. I'm like, if I want to do that, I'll go do DMT. I'm not gonna go over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, like
talking about how you just mentioned the DMT with the psychedelics. There's a lot of movies that mention, and like, you know, they're good stoner movies.
Yeah.
They mention her.
Yeah.
But the one has the plethora, Fear and Loathing, has to be one of the let's teach everybody about something.
That was an instructional video.
Very.
On when and how it's most appropriate to take this particular drug. But honestly, like that movie, that's a perfect example movie. Like, even if you don't do any hard drugs, you smoke a joint and watch that movie, you're having a good time.
Yeah,
that's a stoner movie to me. Like, that's a movie where, and they do smoke weed in a very small part of it, but
even more interesting when you're doing psychedelics. I love them psychedelics.
Absolutely.
Shout out psychedelics.
Psychedelics, yes.
Psychedelics, mushrooms.
That's kind of like
once in a while, you will get shown the light in the
100%,
strangest of places if you look at it right. Them
100%.
psychedelics are a good damn
Oh,
thing.
shit, dude's a rapper too. God
Yeah,
damn.
No, actually, I'm not
This
a
guy's
rapper.
dropping bars.
No, that is not bars. I have to shout out the Grateful Dead. That's
Oh,
a
that's
line
the
from a
Grateful
Grateful
Dead.
Dead song.
There
A
you
lot
go.
of people
You're
probably
still
caught
shouting
that.
bars, Dave.
I
We
will.
love you.
Thank you very much.
Either way. So next on the list, Dazed and Confused. That was like one of the first ones I see.
Yeah.
One of the first ones I seen as a kid that even mentioned cannabis in any way.
Yep, first movie ever that actually had Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Good they never gave the rights for anything. That's the first movie ever, no commercials, anything. That's another shout out. Music and weed have always been, from day one, from the jazz days, it's always been side to side. Good music and good
Cannabis.
legacy cannabis.
Yeah. Good legacy cannabis.
Go
That's
side
what it
by
always was.
side.
Hey, look, imagine the days, like, look, bars are pretty cool right now, right? Like, look how bars work and on the clubs and all that stuff. Like, I mean, cool in terms of, you know, it is a cool, pretty meeting, but you've seen some pretty wild parties and stuff. Imagine during Prohibition, the kind of fucking parties they were having compared to, like, these out and about legal ones. Like, imagine, like...
Undergrounds?
Like, think about, I mean, right now, when I look at the comparison of, I hate to say it, I'm not trying to hate, but going to, like, an OCS-sponsored kind of market, like, I'm not going to mention any to be hater, but there are some in the city that come, and you obviously you can't smoke, you can't do, you go around to like 50 booths, but you can't even look at the weed or the concentrate, and it seems like a market, but it's not really a market, because you're still, you know, got to show your license, and you still got to give them your public information, and you still got. But then you go to, like, you know, so that's the kind of legal market. That's what's been given to you from the government. However, you go into a legacy market.
Absolutely fair. Okay, I'm going to say this from my outside.
To me, OCS is a data collection.
Yes.
That's the business they're in.
But
that's what it is. They're collecting data.
As a customer, I'm involved in the markets and stuff like that. I know I'm lucky enough to know people that are in the Cannaverse. That's where I stand. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I go to these markets as a customer, sure, I know people there, but I'm always out supporting. I'm going there. I want to
100%.
try
See you
out.
at
I
all
want to
of them.
throw a piece to everybody. I want to see everybody's got something.
In
right?
this community, everybody can eat, man.
But I find at the bigger markets, I understand everyone's got their hustle. They want to do, but it's kind of, you feel a little pressure as a customer.
It's totally different. Totally
It
different
is.
feeling.
Well-
Now at these smaller ones, shout out Blazers Market.
Yeah,
guys
shout out
did
Blazers
a great
Market.
job at the Danforth and stuff. Again, as a customer,
Killer.
I went
Shout
in
out
there,
the
was a bit more
Danforth.
intimate. Man, it felt so good in there. You get to see product.
Well, you get
There's
10
more product
premium
in there,
vendors. You get
and
10
more
premium vendors,
legacy. Everything. The people are great.
And
they're-
Headwater. Headwater
they're
was there
throwing
this
you
last one.
free shit in
Oh,
your
yeah.
face constantly.
And it's not even about getting free shit when you're
No.
there. I didn't go there
It's
for free
appreciation.
shit. It's
It's
100%.
appreciation.
But it's a free
beautiful.
market. It's
That's
a
what
free
it's-
market. You don't
that's
have
the
to pay to
beauty
go
of it.
to. And then on top of it, you walk. I think this time the first 28 people got. Pardon me. The first 28 people got like free little gift bag from Designer Dag. from
My
Six
daughter and I
Collabs.
got one. Thank you
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
much,
there
my
you go.
daughter and
Props.
Cheyenne.
Like Blazers
Big up
Market
Cheyenne.
goes out of his way, and the vendors
Yeah.
are more than happy to contribute to those things. I mean, like it's just the vibe of a black market like that, of a legacy market like that.
Legacy.
is different, you know. It is more of a
It's a
community.
yeah, that's it. It's
is
a
more-
And a
community,
beautiful
homey
community.
feel.
Hanging out in the lounge, being able to see everybody, other people that I've seen, catching up, saying hello. Great.
Yeah.
And sorry, guys, this actual
Yeah,
joint
what is
that I
this
passed
joint?
out.
David
I
just
got it
passed-
at Blazers Market.
Oh, very
I can't
nice.
even remember which strain it was. It's good weed. It's the
It
good
does
weed
taste
strain.
like I was gonna
It was
ask.
from the boys at the Six.
6 My Collabs.
There you go. Big up.
Oh,
Six.
yeah.
Shout
I
out to
brought one of
them,
the
yeah.
pre-rolls. I'm sorry I didn't mention it.
No, let me
I'm
tell you
sorry
this.
I can't even
They
tell you what
had-
it was. It's just good weed.
They
That's
had
the
Yeah.
strain.
craziest looking
Full
mushrooms.
gram pre-rolls they had. Big ups.
They had the craziest looking mushrooms.
Best.
One of our buddies.
Some
of the
tidal
show,
waves and shit.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
One of our friends of the show, Light Green 2K. Shout out Light
Big
Green
up.
2K.
Yeah.
He's our mushroom specialist, and he was just immediately came to me. He's like, hey, Professor, yeah, those guys have the best stuff.
Yeah, they're
You know,
just
he
north
just
of the
came over.
city,
Yeah.
almost at
Yeah.
like Vaughan or Woodbridge
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
are.
Shout out those guys. Those
And
are
we
good
saw
beats,
them
good
at
beats,
the
man.
we saw them at the last Two Dope
Yes.
Moms one in Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw them there, and they have a wicked setup. Great flour, good
Yeah.
flour.
A lot of
Great everything.
Great
Yeah.
gelato
You know
strains.
what?
Yeah.
You know what the worst thing for me as a customer about going to one of these legacy markets is? There's so many things to look at. And
Yeah.
I mean, again, these guys at Six, there's like, 8 jars. You can smell, you can feel, you can look. It's
Oh, yeah.
awesome. How am I supposed to buy that after jar 2?
Yeah.
The same, it's all just amazing. So I'm just like, yo, brothers, just give me that.
It is a lot.
Just give me that because I know
Yeah.
the rest are just, how
I'd say
can it
those
get any
killer.
better?
The only downfall to really going to any of these markets, the only one downside, is that there is a ridiculous amount of selection. It
Amazing
becomes
stuff.
Seeing
super
how
hard
much
to pick what you want.
good people putting in their time, putting in their effort, going and doing this, doing a business.
Yeah.
Nothing against the OCS or anything,
No,
but
not
these
at
are
all.
like, not that they're not real people.
It's not the
but
OCS.
these are real people.
It's
and
not the
they're-
OCS store owners' fault. The OCS
No.
store
No,
owners,
it's
the
not
OCS
them. I don't blame
brands
them.
are being forced into this.
Yeah,
bullshit.
it's unfortunate.
You know, we all know who the hell is responsible for
Yeah.
this. It's not. I'm not hating on any OCS
No.
actual establishment. I feel terrible when I
They
see an
got,
OCS
hey, listen, at the end of the
establishment
they
get
got railroaded. They didn't
did.
think
Yes.
it was going to be like
They
this.
did.
Yes.
The government took their money off the get-go and said, fend for yourself. And when they
Yeah.
said we need help, they said, well, we can't help you, but we'll buy your data. Which
Yeah.
kind of screws
Yeah.
every single ma and pa cannabis retailer there is. That's what I think we talked about the last.
That's
podcast.
funny because,
The-
you know,
the
the
AGCO is
the
basically
little
turning
guy-
a blind eye to that shit.
has to struggle selling shitty weed,
Yeah.
and the big guys get their top pick.
What
of
would they
their
say?
crop.
That they're, on average,
Yeah.
they're losing $3 every gram they sell at Tokyo Smoke and at
One
Canna
Plant,
Cabana
all
and
of these
that.
places.
Yeah.
But they're subsidizing it by selling your data, your everything that's written on your license / health card / whatever you showed them to say you're 19.
Legacy markets, you know what they want? They want
Nothing.
you to have some
Yeah.
of their stuff, whether you want to buy it or not.
100%.
They want
This
you to
is decent.
enjoy. Yeah, that is definitely. I wish I knew what it was. I was just like, give me
Give me something good.
Give me a bunch of those.
It's put up or shut up.
Yeah, buy
That's what
some
it is.
concentrates.
At a market,
oh,
you cannot
man.
bring
Beautiful.
bunk at a market because
And nobody
everything
does.
is out in the. You can.
Who are those people?
Everything's
I'm
out in
sorry.
the open.
I'm not trying to say against anything else, but
Yeah,
who
what?
are those guys who had the Khalifa mints? Was it Headwater?
Oh, that's Headwater.
Okay, I don't know, but those
Headwater
guys
is
had
like
they
top
came
of
with
top
like
of
everyone
top.
had fire, but these people I don't
Oh
know.
no, these guys came.
Did
That
you
was
see
just
that hash
molten
banker?
lava shit.
Did you see the hash banker they have
Yes.
on their pipe? Oh my god.
Yeah, I stayed away from that.
I don't know if any of y'all have seen this. I actually took a hit of it. Some of the cleanest hash hit I've ever had in my life. But it's basically like a dab rig. But it has, I don't know if you've seen it. I know, maybe I haven't seen the hash apple, the glass hash apple. Like you worm out or you snake out a little tiny piece of hash and hang it on this like glass hook inside.
And then you
And
just
then you light the bottom of it.
I
and the
didn't catch
smoke
that.
falls into this glass round apple.
That sounds like I'm gonna fall like that
Insane.
guy in the video.
And then you just
Yeah.
suck it out of the thing. But, so Headwater took this idea and basically made it a banger you could put on any rig, any bong.
Wow.
And so the little chamber fills with white smoke, with hash smoke, and then you suck it
But
in
it's
through
just
the
clear.
water.
See, that's the way.
Just clean
You
hash.
don't get
Amazing.
anything but hash.
Yeah.
No tainted hash. I think the outside of some kind of contraption, it's that you're gonna
And
have
you
to
know,
go
and the
Nivers.
beauty is you're not losing any to the atmosphere. It's all
No.
contained into your little.
Yeah, that's. But
Like
still,
that's innovative stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't want to
that's
take
sick.
out anybody's glass display with that. I take medication to keep me up for longer than 10 minutes at a time. I don't need something else to fucking put me down. I'm pretty good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, good times. Yeah.
This weed is good. It's kicking me in the chest.
I
like
wish
Yeah.
I knew what it was, but again, shout outs to those guys.
I got the old drop kick.
They
Six my
took care of
collabs.
me. Yeah, they took care of me. Everyone took care
my
of me.
collabs. I'll make sure
Even
we
my
shout you out.
concentrates from High Maintenance. I was
High
good. I got
Maintenance
some
extracts.
M39
Oh
diamonds.
my god!
Oh man.
Great guys. Yeah, got
High
some
maintenance.
M39.
Shout out to you guys because I'm not a dabber and I bought their stuff and I actually tried it finally.
Excellent.
Oh my
From
god!
flower to press to everything he does. That's
Yeah.
absolutely
I had one of those
great guy.
pre-rolls
Yeah.
the first time. Not this,
With the-
not this
the
market,
Moonrock
but
ones.
the last one.
Yes.
He didn't have any at
makes
this
his
show.
own.
I specifically
Oh, yeah?
went for some.
Wow.
Hey, man, if somebody up, they're that good. If someone
holler
else
at
wants
them.
them, that's what you do. You
I
Yeah.
think
sell
their
them. Holler
Instagram
at
now
them.
is 710HME. Yeah.
Yeah.
710HME.
Yes.
Info for sure
But
for
we'll
this
put the
guy
info
on.
on the-
Again, no, not just good quality legacy product.
Yeah.
Good quality, honest, hard-working people.
Yeah, these are
That's
craft
right.
growers.
That's
Like, when
right.
you go to a farmer's market,
Blood, sweat, and
when you
tears,
go to a
man.
farmer's market to buy vegetables, you're not going there because it costs less. You're not going there.
Nope.
You're going there because you're dealing with the farmer.
And it just happens to cost less.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it happens to cost less anyway, but you're going there for the sake of you want something fresher from the ground to you. And you want something done by someone who is not in a 10,000 plant factory.
Yes,
No.
sir.
Well, you know, you want
You're buying
or in
something
a
from someone who
scientific
put
lab
love
made-
into what
yeah.
he made.
Someone who loves
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah.
And they're putting it up. Like the whole idea of a legacy market and comparable to a government style market is when you have a table, it's put up or shut up.
Yeah. And it's
Right off
tried,
the
tested,
dot.
and true.
I can't you have to put what you have out on the table. There
Yes,
is
sir.
no like, oh, I'm going to put this in a black bag, and if you decide to buy it, I'll show it to you. That doesn't work
Yeah.
with legacy markets.
What I like too as a customer, I'm a big edible fan. I do make my own stuff.
Yep.
I find so a lot of people will give you their edibles,
Uh-huh.
and what again I like as a customer is whether it says it's 50 milligrams or 200 milligrams.
Yeah.
I know right away that legitimately that's exactly what's in
Exactly,
there. I've
yeah.
gotten packages of gummies and it will say that it's 500, it's this. Now I'm a little deeper than others.
Yeah.
250 gets it started for me. I'll start doing some laundry and figure
Yeah.
out where my day is going from there. But there'll
Until
be a
you,
bag
until you
of-
realize you've been watching the laundry machine for 20 minutes.
No, I do watch a lot of. Are you still watching Netflix? That
Oh, yeah,
seems
yeah.
to be a popular show in my house.
like
Are you
burned into
still
the screen.
watching Netflix? But I find a lot of these
man.
packaged gummies that will say they're 500. I'll eat a couple packages of these.
Yeah.
Now that's legitimately saying I'm on 1,000 milligrams. That will shut me down For sure, that will shut me down, an eyes open nap, but it isn't.
It's not.
That's my point.
We've
You're
had
not
that.
getting that, but I know at these legacy markets, if it's telling you it's 50, it's 50. If it's telling you it's 200,
you're getting what you're.
I trust that,
because
and
these
as a
people want you
customer,
to come
I
back.
appreciate that.
This is not a
so
one-off
much.
thing. They're not there to just like if you come back to another market, they'll probably be there.
And I love
regardless,
they're
you
the
can get a
first
hold of
people
them.
I go to.
Yeah.
They're the first people I go to.
100%. They come to like Planet 7 Cannabis is almost in every market. He has killer
Awesome.
flower.
Great brownies. Great brownies. They gave me some awesome brownies.
Everything that guy makes, like he has rosin press there, doing rosin pressing for people, and you just see him like, all day long.
It's a community. It's not a market.
That guy there is one stand-up dude, man.
He is
solid.
At the last Blazers market, he some guy just off the street came in with a little baggie of weed. He's like, "Can you press this for me?" The guy's like, "No problem." He pressed it for him, gave him the press, and I was like,
just for the fuck of it, man.
That's
He's a
sick,
good dude.
you know?
It's nice to see him. Like I said, you don't really see that. Like
no one's hustling.
You wouldn't see that kind of
Nobody
vibe in a bar. You wouldn't see that kind of vibe at a club. You wouldn't see that kind of vibe at any kind of government-sponsored event. That's just farmers and community being together. That's people that are craft growers that appreciate good cannabis. They're cannabis connoisseurs who create product.
And
that's the best.
The past market, on top of all of that, having all of the great shit at your disposal, great people. You got to sit down and test out the product, eat some empanadas and shit, socialize. I noticed.
Shout out to Super Rica
Yes,
empanadas.
I noticed. Oh, they're the best. I went there the weekend before when there was a market. Not even go to the market specifically for empanadas. Yes, I'm black. I went with my Tupperware.
Dave rolled up with his Tupperware. I was like, this guy came straight for just empanadas. And I was like, yo, just fill up the Tupperware. I gotta go. I'm like, all right, Dave.
And I happened to meet people at the market, which I enjoyed going back to this past weekend and seeing again and meeting some new people. Absolutely. It was absolutely awesome.
Well, I mean, there are, once again, it's a great meeting place for people. It's a great networking spot for people who really enjoy cannabis.
Absolutely awesome.
And if you are truly a cannabis connoisseur, if you truly just love the cannabis, you love cannabis or the cannabis culture, this is a great place to actually meet people with the same kind of passion towards the industry. And once again, not people that are working for corporate LPs that want to give you numbers. People that want to say, hey, this is what my cannabis is good for.
And filled with knowledge. The amount of knowledge that is there is unbelievable.
Once again, it's not your job. This is what you love to do.
Yes.
You wouldn't be doing this if you didn't love to
so
do it.
willing to pass on information.
We wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be sitting down here doing this if we didn't love to do
exactly.
the cannabis culture.
And shout outs to you guys for doing this. This is a big part. No, for real, guys. Because there's not that outlet. There's not that voice where people can sit down and talk about. Everyone thinks it's so dark. Oh, y'all smoking weed. Yeah. Even me, I know it's legal and stuff now, but I'm from the old school. I'm not just going to stand at a corner with a whole bunch of people. I'm still in the mindset that I still should at least step aside and respect other people's boundaries.
100%.
Or the cops are going to roll up. I still think that. To this day, if I'm...
Well, it's kind of embedded.
I'm not ripping through Wonderland with a joint in my mouth.
No, I'm still stuck in that.
I am, but when I'm on the way out.
But it's good that you guys are helping and everybody can talk about this because this is a good thing. Because it's a community and there's so much knowledge out there that it's unbelievable.
The thing is, listen, let's face it, cannabis is not just a plant to smoke.
No,
There's so many medical benefits, skin conditions.
I think all the focus on the recreational. All the focus for the hatred, for the stigma is on the recreational. There's never any conversation about the medicinal.
No. And at the end of the day, it was to make people that are open-minded look like a bunch of idiots or stoners. Yeah. That's why free thinkers got that. No, we're stoners.
100%.
No, we're not. Just because we think for ourselves, we're not stoners.
You get branded. You get branded. You ultimate. Once again, this is why I want a couple of names later on the list. But I'll just say right now. I mean, I loved watching guys like George Carlin and Bill Maher, and Joe Rogan because they're intelligent.
And they talk and
they crush the stereotype of the Rogan. Dumb, lazy stoner. These are successful, smart, politically driven, intelligence driven, factual people. People that are not giving you their theories and opinions. People who are basing whatever they're talking about on the truth, and they're making things that are sadly the truth funny. Which to me is a hard thing to do. Same with Jon Stewart when he was doing the Daily Show, and I mean to me, once again, these are my newscasters.
Yeah.
You know,
Sometimes the truth hurts.
I hear about what's really happening on in the world from George Carlin, or at least originally from George Carlin, and even from Dave Chappelle. There's some there's some comedians that thrive on, you know, look, this is how shitty it is, but what else can we do? You know,
That's
like, are we
right,
gonna
sir.
sit here and are we gonna do the woe is me, or are we gonna just fucking, you know, we made a mistake, we gotta laugh at ourselves about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad days. There's a lot of bad shit going on. But
Always.
there's 365 days.
Yeah.
beyond time,
100%.
And we could change. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with telling the truth.
Yeah,
Finding out from the great people
Yeah.
that we're mentioning.
exactly.
That's
and,
all
and
good.
that way you don't really focus on the fear as much as you focus on the solution.
Yes, sir.
You know, it kind of
Exactly.
eases you into the mindset of, you know, the whole woe is me mentality and the lockdown mentality and the,
Oh.
you know, be scared and make sure you only, you know, don't have more than 2 people at your house for Thanksgiving, and like all these kind of things that have happened in the last few years are feeding into that agenda of we should not be talking to our neighbors. We should not be a community. We should keep
That was all bullshit.
it's only me and my family against the world, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and if it really was you and your family against the world, you'd be smart enough to fucking make sure you're friends with your neighbor. Make sure you're part of your community. You alone aren't going to be able to protect your family. You need a community.
Yes,
You
sir.
know? And this is what we're being taught opposite-wise.
And that's why I love Joe Rogan,
From the
because
powers that
from
be.
the beginning of all this
But all
bullshit,
these comedians, they preach
He-
the opposite.
yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
I love about it.
And
He
it
stood
isn't
up.
even about the opposite. It's just the truth.
Yeah, it
you're,
is.
you're just, it's a truth.
Yeah.
It's not an opinion or whether
Yeah.
you like it or not. A lot
That's
of people
it.
have this problem about not liking what someone else is because their opinion is
Exactly.
different, but it isn't about liking it.
Yeah.
The truth is the truth. 1 and 1 is 2.
Fair
I
is
don't
fair,
care.
though.
I don't care if you think it's 3.
Yeah.
That's right. Fair
Yeah.
is fair.
Fair is
That's
fair.
it. Whether you like it or not, it's up to you. That's your own individual choice.
100%.
Your opinion is yours. I
If
do
you're
not
able
have
to
to
believe-
structure my
Yeah.
life around your
I
opinion.
agree.
Okay, so in terms of opinions, the movie Friday,
Oh,
Ah,
was that not one of the most like
honestly,
yes.
I'm glad we came to this one because this movie
So many
jump-started a lot of people's careers.
Yes.
Well, yeah, it did.
Huge.
It definitely did. Well, I mean, it jump-started people's careers and it pivoted some people's
Yeah.
careers too. And there was a lot of like, you know, I mean, the guy who played Debo, I can't remember his name. I'll put it in the shot in the info. The actor who played Debo in the movie, he also played Zeus.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it was in wasn't a Rocky. It was.
He was in wrestling, man.
Was
The
a wrestler.
cock guy.
Yeah.
He was. When it
Oh, he was
the
a wrestler. He was in a WWF, but
Yeah,
he was
the
in a movie
WWF.
too. I remember he was in
That's
another.
right. He wasn't a more serious. But
Yeah.
it's hard to take that cockeye dude fun.
It is.
Other than he's big, but
Yeah.
that little
Yeah.
twisty eye. No, I mean, sorry if anyone got
Well,
a twisty
in
eye.
Friday, man, like, see, what's it called when Buddy came with his black eye? And my mama gave me that chain. You know, like, Debo Rose, what you got on my 40, sucker?
Yeah. On his bike.
Oh, man, he takes his bike. It's kind of like my bike and your bike, but we like leave it in my house. It's my bike, punk. Like that, there's so many moments. Chris Tucker, obviously,
Yeah.
fucking exploded off of that. Ice Cube became a movie.
Huge.
fucking more into movies and producing movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And became more of the, and obviously always comedy. I don't think, aside from Anaconda, I can't remember Ice Cube in a movie that was like not a comedy.
Oh, he's always been a
And of
quite the
course,
character.
Boys in the Hood, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider that a comedy. And then, yeah, and obviously, yeah, with the Rick James references, I mean, Friday was an entire cannabis culture.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, from soundtrack.
Yes.
And then we talked about Harold and Kumar earlier.
Yeah.
That's a cult classic when it comes to cannabis. I mean, I think the first one was, for me, the first one was the most cannabis infused, I'd say.
Yes.
100%.
That,
Yes,
that one
sir.
was
Yes,
mostly
sir.
based on it. The other ones did get funnier, but I feel like they went in different directions. Like, what's his name? Neil Patrick Harris, I know, made
they
a
rode the
comeback
wave
from
a little
those
bit on
movies.
that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, they all were funny. They all were funny, and they all are stoner movies. Any way you chop it, I mean, those are some of the funniest movies to watch when you're high. Anyway, any way you chop it.
Here's one that straight out of a strain, named from her strain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pineapple Express.
Yes.
We were talking about that
Yeah,
earlier.
Yeah.
one of the only ones that actually specifically talks about. All the other ones talk about weed.
I think one of the
or
first times, like you
struggle
were
to
mentioning,
get it.
like you were mentioning before,
Yeah.
one of the first times you really heard something in the mainstream about a strain in particular.
Exactly. People want to rush out and get this new strain of weed and shit like that.
Oh man, that caused a big fuss. I remember people like, "You have any Pineapple Express?"
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
huge.
And like, yeah, well, like I mean, you know, this
Everything turned into Pineapple
Yeah,
Express. There
everything.
was a whole lot of
If it was a
pineapple.
sativa, if it had a
Right.
faint smell of sativa, it was like, yeah, the Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
yeah.
Sure, yeah, it's a $300 an ounce because it's straight from Cali, you know.
Yes.
Shout out to
Meanwhile,
Seth
it's
Rogen
like-
because he pushed cannabis.
What?
in
Yeah,
pretty
big
much
time.
every
Big
movie.
time.
There's someone in the
Advocate, and he's-
too.
Someone in the cannabis culture,
Yeah,
for sure.
he-
Can't forget about like with all the entertainment and shit like that. The Woody Harrelson, like
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
him too.
Pioneer, the pioneers,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
from day one again.
Even Matthew McConaughey, for
Yes,
the sake of being
sir.
in,
Sir.
All right,
in Days
all
and
right,
Confused.
all right.
All right.
Yeah, they were a little
All right.
pervy, but I love fucking young girls. You know, one thing
What's
about them
that
is they
line?
never get older.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
keep
but
getting
that's
older,
good, yeah.
they keep getting younger.
Yeah, a little pervy, but says
You
it
know?
very well. Yeah.
And the joke is, when you were growing up in high school, everyone knew a cat like that.
100%.
Everyone knew the guy who had a car, who like didn't graduate high school. He was a couple years older than everybody, and he'd still roll up and be like, you know, hey, what's going? That guy's so cool.
And
you
then
know?
there was the asshole Ben Affleck that wanted
yeah,
to beat
yeah,
everybody
yeah,
up. You
that's
know,
right.
he was his big starring
a
moment.
lot of. And who do we see in there as well? What's her name? Anne Hathaway. Is
Yes,
Anne Hathaway in
yes,
that?
yes. When she was alive.
Yeah. Before she got bit by the zombie. Yeah. Yeah, she got that meat locker look going now. Okay, before we get too bad, shout out Anne Hathaway for evading that last zombie bite. Jesus Christ.
Sorry,
Poor Anne
man.
Hathaway.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I only mean to her because how mean she was to what's his name? Who's the guy from Pineapple Express again?
Fuck him. She broke Ellen's heart.
She broke Ellen's heart.
What do you mean?
Why'd she break Ellen's heart? What
Well,
was
they were together and she remember.
Anne Hathaway
Oh,
and
sorry,
Ellen?
I'm thinking about the other one who crashed in the car and died. Sorry, shout outs to her too.
Who's that?
The one recently, remember the blonde lady who recently crashed into the car?
I am in 30 different places right now. What are you
Okay.
talking about? What? Okay, hold on. No, we gotta pick this one apart. Ellen. Okay.
Ellen, that has the TV show, you know, the dance
I know,
and talk
Ellen-
show
Ellen
lady. Okay,
DeGeneres,
she
Ellen
was in the
DeGeneres.
relationship before she's with the lady she's now who is alive.
With Anne Hathaway?
No, it wasn't
Oh.
Anne Hathaway. I got the name mixed up.
That
She
should
was
be it.
with, I forget what the lady's
Oprah.
name. Not
No,
Oprah. She wasn't
Oprah.
with the fat rich lady.
My
That
God.
took a big loop.
My
Okay, let's go
God.
back to you hate Anne Hathaway
Yeah,
because of
anyways.
Pineapple Express.
Anyways.
But shout out to
Yeah.
all the dead people. No disrespect.
Shout out
Fuck
to
all the haters.
Yeah.
She ain't dead though. Yeah.
Who?
Anne Hathaway
I have
alive.
no
She's
idea.
alive.
She
Yes,
doesn't look like
she's
she
alive.
did. She doesn't look like she did. Okay, that's
Fuck all the haters anyway.
Yeah, haters.
Which brings us to
You love it.
Grandma's boy. I never
Personally,
seen
this is
this.
I know. I
never
couldn't
seen
believe
this.
This is my
You
favorite.
haven't seen this?
No,
Mayhem,
my
favorite
Mr.
I saw some
Mayhem.
clips
Oh,
today.
man.
Oh,
I had to
And
show Mayhem some clips.
Oh.
Jesus,
Oh.
I never laughed so hard.
oh, Mr. Mayhem.
If
That is
you were growing up,
Oh.
I was born in the late '70s, and if you were growing up in the 80s, '90s, in the early '90s, let's say, you were in high school and you were starting to smoke weed or figure out what weed was. The culture, even when I was in high school, was like weed and video games, right? Like it was all about like Super Nintendo and smoking weed, or Nintendo 64 and smoking weed. That was high
Yes,
school, right? Like
Yes,
it wasn't.
sir.
If you weren't with chicks, it was that.
Yeah.
It was one of the two. And the funny part is, I remember back then, girls used to be gamers a lot more. You know,
Yeah.
like we used to be in high school. I remember we'd go to my girlfriend's house to play Nintendo 64. Like it was.
Yeah, well,
Some
if you
next
wanted
level
to
shit.
sit around and hang out with a guy you liked and not do anything with him,
Well,
that's
yeah,
what you had to be into
for the
if you were
first-
a girl back
For
then.
the first 20 minutes. For
Yeah.
the first 20 minutes.
Game time, game
Yeah.
loading
Is your mom
time
gone?
takes
Yeah.
so much
Is your mom
longer.
gone? That was the. Is your mom gone? Well, we're just here to play video games. But if you grew up in that era, man, I mean, Grandma's Boy was all about smoking weed and
Old people
and
and weed.
Yeah, old
Yeah.
people and weed, and
Whoa.
like you had a
Hilarious.
video game designer company, And like the guy who played JP, I believe he is in the movie. He pretends he's from the Matrix. He's got like a black leather. Some of the best jokes ever in that movie, man. Like
it's funny, and whoever hasn't seen it, you gotta see this.
You have to see it
because I'm gonna watch it as soon as
to me, one of the most underrated ones. But
what about the one? Okay, so I was recently, and it was funny. We talked about it before. I was introduced to a weed movie, 100% weed movie, by my daughter, my youngest daughter. I have 3 shout-outs to all my daughters. I love them as much as I talk about hating them. I truly do love these girls.
Love them.
I love these girls like mad. Anyway, I was introduced from my youngest daughter to this movie with Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa. And I never heard about this. I never have heard about this movie. And it was one of the greatest, newer weed movies. I thought, listen, man, that shit was funny.
And what's it called?
Mac and Delvin go to high. Mac and Devin go to high school.
I have it in the
and it is on Netflix, you know. But it is a funny movie. Yeah. It's a great story. Snoop plays this. Of course, he's involved with the weed. He's been in high school for 15 years and shit. So he knows a lot about weed. It's really, really funny, and it's good, man. My kid introduced me to this shit. It was
Snoop's
so
always
funny.
in some kind of movie.
So he's like the Van Wilder.
Pretty much, yes. And that's another one of those movies. Kind of like exactly.
Version.
What a great reference. Definitely the Black Van Wilder, but without the alcohol and white bitches. It was just Snoop and weed. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's what we're talking.
Yeah.
Basically, instead of Tara Reid, it was Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg.
No. Yeah.
Or what's his name? Wiz Khalifa. Yeah, I saw that come out. I put that on the lesser knowns because it was new to me. I knew that I'd seen it out and about, but I never really hear the first brand. And at least
it's
from
worth
you,
the time.
Hey,
it's worth the time to watch.
I know me and you have a very similar taste in those things. So
There's
I'm definitely
good
gonna check it out.
It was at the beginning of Khalifa's kind of because
it was like
a 4.
Is it 4 years old? 5 years old?
It probably is. It was kind of old. I watched it maybe within the last year and a half, 2 years, and I've watched it a couple times since. It's one of those movies, man. It is
there
worth
hasn't
the
been
time.
too many new ones. There hasn't been too many. I mean, aside from Seth Rogen,
weed references. There's weed references in every movie nowadays, which is kind of getting a bit bad, especially with the edibles. I'm glad kids aren't involved, but there's always parents that are trying to get a babysitter or something because they've eaten something and they better fuck and get these kids out of the way. Yeah. Old people, kids involved, weed. It's always funny.
Well, they do it for alcohol.
Yeah.
I mean, you have no problem.
That poison.
Like literally.
Poison.
No problem for alcohol, but for cannabis. It's the stigma in the situation.
Yeah. They'll have a lady smashed with a bucket of wine to unfold after work while she's holding her baby in the movie. Yeah. I mean, that is funny shit. It's a funny preference. It is. Come on. Because it's true.
Yeah.
But you can't have... I have yet to see a mother or father or whatever smoking a bowl or smoking a joint and feeding their kid in the high chair. Yeah. Okay, you shouldn't smoke. You should, but I'm just saying, vapes now, even vaping, knowing it's a weed, like showing it's a weed, not having to say, "Oh yeah, this is my weed pen."
You don't
actually,
see it as
you know exactly that's what she is smoking. They kind of keep it unless they throw it in your face. Yeah. It's kind of incognito, or it's a 6-foot pipe.
Yeah.
That who's like, oh, look at that's funny.
Well, it's got to be, when once again, they always, it's the poking fun aspect. They never really show any cannabis users in an intelligent form.
No.
You know, even though, there are so many that we know of, at the end of the day, they'll never, ever show it in that light. I mean, look how they shit on Elon Musk for taking one pull off a joint on the Rogan podcast.
Yeah.
Like, this guy literally is responsible for making rockets that can take off and land back in the same fucking spot. You're going to break his balls about smoking a joint? You can't start your car? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why people think they have the right to judge someone for smoking weed, and they hate it. They hate the fact that this guy is a super genius, and it blows apart every stereotype they've ever constructed.
So are they saying everyone that smokes weed is the same? Or are they saying, I'm like Elon Musk, because I just smoke weed, have 3 kids I paid all my child support for, do stand-up comedy, and work in a cookie factory? I'll take the reference to Elon Musk any day.
I will take the comparison
Power
to that,
to the
too.
people, you
Absolutely.
freaky autistic fuck.
He's a weird motherfucker. Look, he's a weird motherfucker. But I'm sorry, man. If I gave you that much money, Dave, you'd be a weird motherfucker too.
You're damn right.
I'd be a weird motherfucker with that much money too. I'd be fucking weird looking girls from England. What's her name there?
Grimes.
Grimes.
Yes.
I'd
But
be
they're
doing
no
it.
longer together.
Yeah.
But listen, at the end of the day,
Once again, that's
anybody
just
that's
in the
different
context, not
is
to say
looked
that's general.
upon.
That's just in the context of having like, when you have $400 billion, I don't think you're thinking normal. Like, I don't think Elon Musk, like, you know, his game plan was to go out and like get a bunch of like, you know, superstar singers from the UK pregnant and do this and like have this lavish life. I don't think he ever wanted to be like a playboy. I think he's a real true nerd at heart. He just wants to like play with his rockets. I think that's all he wants to
and
do.
has the money to do it.
Yeah,
At the end of the
and has
day, we
the
know
money to
sitting
do
at
it.
this table, if you're a little different, you're going to get hated on, no
Well,
matter what.
man.
I call them fans. You know,
Yeah,
what I
they're
mean?
all fans. That's
I
it.
call them fans. You strive on that shit.
I see it everywhere, you know.
Trying to make sure they know what you're up to all the time. You know?
That's okay. That is okay.
Let them
I'm
hate.
up to good. And in case anybody's wondering, I am up to so good. And you guys are up to good too. You guys are looking and smelling so up to good, man.
Oh, it smells
I don't know.
nice
It could
in
be
here.
that leopard cat shit we were smoking.
It
but-
was the leopard pink. I think it was the leopard pink because usually I'm up to no good and you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
That's what the situation is. Just to make
Yeah.
it clear to anybody listening.
Oh.
Hit those honorable mentions, man.
Oh,
Hit
honorable-
them.
so in terms of the honorable mentions of movies, I mean, for me, these are not really movies based on cannabis, but I found they're pretty funny to watch when you're high.
Yeah.
Ali G in the House.
Oh, God.
That guy there.
Oh, God.
Sasha Baron Cohen. I'm sorry, that guy's one of the funniest people on earth. And I know people really know him and appreciate him more for Borat and the Borat movie, which are obviously
Brilliant.
fucking
They are
hilarious.
brilliant.
Not just funny.
But-
Brilliant.
Yeah.
How
Brilliant.
that guy
Yeah.
pulled off Ali G with a
Oh,
straight
man.
face.
And the
I
type
don't-
of actors he had in it too. He had Buddy from Lord of the Rings in there,
Yeah.
and like I mean, he brought in that Sir. I gotta put his name in the thing. I can't remember. Sir William something. Yeah, like a very like
I forgot.
prestigious English
yes.
actor in
Yeah.
the, like in a movie where he's pretending to be, you know, like some househead from friggin' Britain. He's
Yeah,
like,
shout outs to my kids for introducing me to that.
Oh,
too.
yeah, really?
Yeah, they introduced me. Dad, you got to check
Oh,
this out.
man.
I've always, again, growing
his
up.
show was amazing.
Well, I grew up on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, me too.
Pre Eddie Murphy
Me
being
too.
the black guy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, well, that's the Mr.
Was there a
Bill,
black guy
all of
before?
that. He was the guy, I forget his name, I'm sorry.
Oh,
he
yeah,
ended up
yeah,
being
yeah,
in that
yeah. He was
TV
in a bunch
show
of
with
shows.
the two broke girls.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
funny
yeah.
black- He's been in loads.
He's
I
been
forget
a
his
shit-
name.
I
I'm
remember.
so.
I'll put it in the
But yeah,
list. I'll
Which
put it
guy
in the
was
notes.
it?
I forget his name, but he's pre
I
Eddie
know
Murphy.
he's
Saturday Night Live.
Everyone
Yeah.
talks about Eddie Murphy being the black guy, and I forget this gentleman's name, but he was the pre-black guy. But I've
Yeah.
been in Saturday Night Live, so watching all of these shows,
Oh, yeah.
my daughters were like, "Dad, you got to watch this Ali G. This is up your alley."
Oh, yeah,
I
for
could
sure.
not believe how intelligent and goddamn drop down funny that shit was.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And
Fuck
the
it.
reactions,
So
the
good.
real reactions you get from people. I have nothing against Mexicans, but when that motherfucker sat down as a table and stuff like that, that was brilliant.
Oh, fuck.
Brilliant. Shout outs to all my Mexican friends. Everything. Y'all fuego. Y'all
Yeah.
good.
Arriba.
No
yeah,
haters.
no, awesome. Yeah, no haters. That was funny. And
Oh,
hey,
man.
Buddy got work, right?
Yeah.
Buddy got a piece of work.
Everybody. That was one of the best. I mean, for me, like I can smoke a spliff and watch that anytime.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. I can smoke a spliff anytime.
I
but
can smoke a
that
spliff
makes it better.
anytime. Yeah, but there are certain movies that, like, yeah, I wanna.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah.
a little
Ali
enhance the mood.
G.
Then This Is the End.
Yes.
That's
I don't
with Seth
remember this.
Rogen. A shit ton of that. They're all in it in the beginning. There's a shit like Rihanna's in it. Like a shit ton of actors are in it in the beginning.
Loaded.
And then it ends
It's
up
loaded.
being like Seth Rogen, and once again I forget his name. Fuck, I don't know why. The guy who's in Pineapple Express with Seth Rogen.
Leopard Pink, but I don't fucking
Leopard
know
Pink's
why.
got
I
me mashed
forgot
up,
he
dude.
says.
Don't
As
worry
he's got
about
a
it.
different split
Dave's
in his hand.
absolutely right. As I'm smoking, I forgot this thing was in my.
I don't know
Jesus Christ.
why I forgot.
It's official, ladies and gentlemen. I am higher than a motherfucker.
yeah,
But
great.
anyway,
this is what I need.
He was
That
funny.
happens in the podcast
He was funny in
studios.
it. And that was a good movie. There's a shit ton of actors. And once again, well, there were some cannabis reference. Any Seth Rogen movie has cannabis reference.
Yes.
Yeah,
to it.
everyone.
And
Ted.
then there was Ted.
Oh,
obviously.
that
Ted
brought
with Mark
things to
Wahlberg
a
and
whole different level, though.
Yes.
Seth
that brought-
MacFarlane's like one of my favorites.
That brought
Yes,
the
sir.
weed culture to a whole
Oh, yeah.
different
Different,
level.
100%.
And made stoners want to watch it. Who cannot watch a
Oh, yeah.
fucking teddy bear and shit.
teddy bear hitting a
Smoking
bong.
bowls, yeah. Shit, man.
Like Seth MacFarlane, man. I don't know. I'm a huge Family Guy fan. I'm a huge fan of almost everything he's done except for 1,000 Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah, that was a little offbeat.
Like straight up,
The
I
Harry
personally
Bush
believe
thing
he's a
was great,
genius.
too.
I think he's
The Harry Bush thing was great.
Oh my God. Like there was some choice moments in that movie, but I think he's one of the most brilliant comedy minds.
So brilliant.
But he's just not for me. He's not a comedy actor.
Yeah.
And like
He's a weirdo, but shout out to the weirdos because
he's
it
like
wasn't
an
for
Elon
the
Musk kind of dude.
musicians
Yeah,
and
man.
the
big band music
artists and the
shit, like,
weirdos.
I
if it wasn't
respect him
for
a lot.
people
He's very
like
theatrical,
us,
that guy.
we wouldn't have everything
Yeah.
that us bring.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Shout outs to the weirdos. Big
Shout
ups
outs to the people that
all
give
of
us what we want.
Everybody who's weird. That's right,
Yeah.
man. Weird
Seth
is
MacFarlane,
good.
you're a G.
Weird is good.
Yeah. And then we had Jay and Silent Bob
Oh,
Strike Back.
shit.
/ Clerks. I kind of had Clerks, obviously.
Yeah, it's a little bit of
Jay
both.
and Silent Bob, I guess, were the first mainstream on-screen drug dealers that
Yes.
I kind of ever saw. Aside
Mainstream.
from Scarface.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aside from Scarface, that was
No,
the
and
first time
Nino
I saw.
Brown. No. You
Yeah,
you
neither
seen
Ryan.
a lot of dudes sell them. But then again,
I mean, like back in the 80s, like in
Yeah.
the late 80s, that was like something where a movie you would see on TV.
yes, that's mainstream, 100%.
And that's where I'd be like, whoa, they're
Yeah.
going to show this on TV? They're
Yeah.
talking about weed? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
In front of a store, I can
Did they even
pick up.
blank out weed? You know?
Yeah, and said it.
Yo, do you remember back in the 90s, they used to, when a song had weed in it, like if Biggie was talking about blunts or
Yeah.
They'd
Oh,
blank,
shit.
they'd blank it out like it was
Yeah.
the F word.
But they would tell you can smack a bitch.
Yeah, you can say bitch.
You can smack a
Bitch
bitch.
was
but-
Oh,
fine,
that's
but don't
okay.
you say
well, I'm
blunt.
smoking on a beat.
Don't say blunt.
Yeah.
Don't say spliff. Don't say weed. But yeah,
You
bitch,
can mention
hoe,
crack. You can
yeah.
mention crack.
And ass was on the line. Ass, a lot of people were on the fence about back then.
Yeah. So they got away with booty and just started shaking
Yeah,
it.
there's that booty.
Yeah, just said booty instead.
Two Live Crew said fuck it, and they
Yeah.
rapped about everything else.
Yeah, they freaking went totally.
I love
Well, have
Two
you
Live
guys
Crew.
noticed,
Yeah.
again, I did mention it before, music and the cannabis universe has always gone side by side.
Oh,
Whether it's
100%.
just sitting back and chilling out and listening to Floyd or
100%.
whatever it is.
When it
you
comes
know,
to
Miles
psychedelics,
Davis.
Floyd, yeah,
no,
Miles
whether even
Davis,
if it's just
anytime.
getting home
Any
after
music.
work and smoking a joint, a
I
bowl,
tell you
whatever
this,
it is
man.
you're into, and throwing on some music.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you're into, right?
Exactly.
100%.
It is so
Music
great.
is so integral to
People can hear a song and be like, I can't wait to go home and
Yeah.
smoke a joint. It
Yeah.
can make you want
Or
to
it
For
go
real.
takes you. It takes you back to the memory where you were
It's
there.
the only,
Damn right.
You know?
I say it's the only genuine time machine. Everybody's,
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's true.
everybody's looking for a time machine. And the Fountain of Youth, I've seen some
Yeah.
gay guys, shout out to gay guys, they apparently have fucked at the Fountain of Youth. These guys look
Jesus,
good.
perfect.
No, I'm just saying. But
Must be all that Vaseline.
yeah, or whatever it is, they're looking good. Shout outs.
Good for
But
you, gay guys.
Again, right across, the music is the fountain of
Huge.
youth. It is a time machine that can bring you to something happy, sad,
100%.
mad, no matter
At
where
any
you
point
are.
in your life.
I can look at a
sometimes
concert
not
ticket
that
and
great.
remember
Yeah.
slightly
I was
what
just about
happened
to
that
say.
day at Lollapalooza or that
Yeah.
day at Fresh
Damn
Fest
right.
Yeah.
or that day at New York versus Toronto. I can remember by looking at that ticket because music was attached and a whole lot of weed.
Huge.
Yeah,
A whole lot of
Music's huge in weed. And
absolutely.
in all fairness, you can pretty much listen to anything. From
Yeah,
like
I went
jazz
to-
to like I like smoking and enjoying and listening to Tool.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
100%.
You
You know
can
what I
listen to
mean?
Miles Davis or listen to Tool or some
Like,
Rage or whatever it
anything,
is.
yeah.
And it's just nice to. You
That
don't
was
have
my
to be
whole,
with a
like,
group of people.
16 and
That's what I
17.
find. That's our glass of wine. You see,
Yeah.
people don't understand. It's easy to be on the news and say, when I get off my shift, I can't wait to go home and pretty much drink 12 beers and get drunk all weekend
wanna
and
go
be
home and
back
crack
at
a
work
beer.
on Monday. Have yet to see one of these people on TV say, I can't wait to
Yeah.
go home, unwind, and just smoke a nice fatty.
I just want to go
and
home and
chill
light a
out.
bowl. I just want to go and spark a
Yeah,
split.
right?
Like
Or
something.
like people go home and have a glass of wine. No, when we go home after a day of work, we smoke our legacy product
Mm-hmm.
that we're lucky enough to be having in our fingertips
Shout out to Toronto
and
Cannabis.
enjoy. That's right, and sit back and kick. That's our glass of wine. You
Fucking
know,
right.
Yeah.
People got to stop hating. I know most of the people that are listening to this aren't haters, but
No.
people will appreciate that for real.
There is
That's
a lot
our
of
glass
haters.
of wine.
Remember,
bro.
don't hate, appreciate.
We
Yeah.
tried searching cannabis on TikTok and on Twitter, and on Twitter it told me that I should get medical attention for my drug abuse.
No, he's serious,
They're
bro.
blaming
I'm not
it on
kidding.
the weed.
He's
I'm not
serious.
kidding.
Come on,
I
you
swear-
gotta be honest. It
I
isn't
swear
the
on my
weed's
life.
fault, right? It is
It's
not the
not.
He
weed's fault.
searched it
If
on
you look-
Twitter,
if you
and
look
the
up
first
Twitter-
thing that pops up is
What?
here's how to get help
for cannabis
your
for a
affliction,
drug addiction.
for your drug addiction.
But
Wow.
if you type in alcohol, it'll tell you any
yeah,
bar,
Bacardi.
the closest
Store.
bar. Yeah.
Closest beer
Bacardi
store.
represent some girl in a bikini with a bottle of rum.
And that's
shows
what,
you the
again,
media.
I love about this quadcast.
That's what we're trying to
No,
do.
I
Bring
didn't know about
awareness.
the TikTok thing.
Yeah.
Again,
TikTok,
I don't really
you
go
can't
on
even
TikTok.
search
I
cannabis.
wish my daughter Cheyenne was here. She's my, as
Yeah.
part of King's Court Comedy and stuff, she's
Yeah.
my, like, what do you
Your
call it?
right
The
hand.
virtual technology stuff. She takes care of all
your
that.
VP
She's
of
on
operations.
Yeah, she
She's your
does like
VP of
technology.
operations.
So I don't know these TikTok things.
Yeah.
But you guys let me know here at Quadcast
Yeah.
about the, like, you can't even punch up weed and shit on
No,
TikTok.
man.
And again, like, even if they're selective, which they always are selectively, I learn about all these things certain way, but not even a mention, really. You
Yeah.
have to like
It's all,
backroad it,
yeah,
or
yeah,
if
pretty
it's
much.
honest.
But yet you could pretty much like flash yourself naked, male or female.
I
Worse
can
than
watch
that.
David
Yeah.
Hasselhoff drunk eating a hamburger,
Yeah,
calling
yeah,
his daughter
puking
a
and
bitch.
shit, puking
Yeah.
But
and
I
stuff.
can't go on TikTok and watch an old guy eat an edible for the first time and fall off a couch and
No.
he thinks it's great.
Fucking terrible.
No.
That is fad. That is
It is.
ridiculous.
It is what it is.
But you guys brought that to my attention.
and that's
You
what,
told
yeah,
me.
we
So
try
it
to
shows
like,
you what the market's actually driving, right?
Yeah,
They'd
I
rather
can't
drive
believe that.
stupidity than
I can't
you know.
believe that.
1,000%.
Wow.
But, and then, yeah, last on our honorable mentions is another one of my favorites.
Super Troopers.
Super Troopers.
Oh.
Super Troopers was kind of, I think there was some weed references in it. I guess they were kind of high throughout. But that was a movie where, once again, the cops didn't all get, like the cops I knew growing up, you know, would all get together somewhere at a park and open a 2-4, and that was like the typical thing. Cops, you know, even in the movies, they get off work, cops have a beer, go to the bar. That's what they did, and that was the first movie where the cops all met up at the park and lit up a spliff. You know, they go, whoa. Like, even though it's a hardcore comedy.
Yeah, it was still
That
that
was like kind of cool to
good.
see them painted in that
Yeah,
light, you know?
definitely.
Because that's
Yeah.
a normal human being. Like, it wouldn't be nothing wrong with a cop fucking lighting a joint afterwards, as opposed to like having a beer.
Yeah, it goes against the regular stigma.
Well, it goes against the status quo.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. That was a good movie.
The lesser knowns that I haven't seen this one. I looked it up, and it does have some pretty big actors and comedians in it. It's called Smiley Face.
I haven't heard of that
never
one.
heard of
John Krasinski's
I'll
in it.
check that out for sure.
The chick from all those spoof movies, the comedian.
I'll find it in the notes.
I can't remember her name, but yeah, I'll pop that up on the thing. So that's a movie you gotta check out. Smiley Face.
He's probably came
Another
up during
one
the
called-
drinking phase in my life.
Another one called, well, this Smiley
Yeah,
Face one
that
seems like it's
drinking,
about,
eh?
it's
That
got to be around
drinking.
8 or 9
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
It's around 8 or 9 years old. Looks like it was John Krasinski when he was in office. In the
Okay.
office. The Stoned Age. It's a 70s spoof movie.
I've watched that one. I
Yeah?
don't remember that too much, but I remember at some point seeing that.
That I haven't watched, but I heard it's a pretty good movie to watch while you're high, or at least has some cannabis references. American Ultra, which is another odd
Yeah, well,
cannabis movie.
That sounds
some
really
big,
familiar.
Some big actors, more about the effects of cannabis in a way, but I guess one of the somebody smokes a lot of weed and thinks the CIA is actually in his head, and it turns out he actually is.
Wow.
So it's not
Okay.
from the weed.
oh,
or
I'm going to check that in the notes.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. I got to check that out.
and then
yeah.
what you brought up earlier, Mac and Devin go to high
Yeah,
school.
that was like, again, that was
I was a
brought to
lesser
me.
known for me.
We're older.
Yeah.
I've been bringing my kids,
I
all
didn't know
3 of
that.
my kids, they're a bit older now. I've brought all of these movies before that we've watched and mentioned to them. So for them to bring this movie to me, and just thinking that it was one of those mention weed movies, it isn't.
Yeah.
They like it's more than a just spoof mention a weed movie.
Yeah.
And it was really funny.
Funny.
Like it
It
was
was.
good shit, man.
It was absolutely.
I
check
recommend
that
it. It's
out. I'll
worth the
check that
time.
out for
It's
sure.
definitely
a lot
worth
of people,
the
like I said, I
time.
haven't seen it, but from what I watched the trailer earlier, and it looked like it's.
It looks pretty funny.
I'd always
Yeah.
see it pop up on Netflix. Honestly, for a minute there, I just thought it was going to be like a 20-minute kind of
No.
short or something.
Hour
Yeah.
and change,
Yeah.
so you're not investing 2
I just
hours
watched.
or anything.
I just
Funny.
watched the preview, and it said that. Yeah, it showed how long the movie was. Like, well,
Yeah, and the money shot's good. The
Yeah,
payoff,
right?
like the actually whole movie right down to the end.
Really?
It pays off.
Okay.
So a lot of movies are here,
I am
there,
gonna
and
take
stuff.
that in.
But it actually, the money shot's okay. The payoff's good. You feel happy at the end, and you're probably stoned while watching it.
We'll take that in.
When are we smoking this one now? Like,
Yeah, what is this joint?
I'm.
Well, that is
Pretty
pretty
fucking
much the
lifted.
leftovers of Snow Leopard.
Oh, just the
Oh, a little
leftovers.
bit more.
Eh? The kitty litter. The kitty litter.
That's
It's just the leftovers. He says.
What Mayhem couldn't fit in his last
Yeah, he
1.7
says
gram
the
joint.
leftovers. Oh,
It's the
Jesus.
leftovers from that 1.7 gram joint
Yeah.
from last, or the paper was defying physics again.
Jesus,
Mayhem likes to
Listen,
defy,
I've been
defy
gone a
physics
week,
and gravity.
and,
yeah, this is great.
I feel bad for that paper most of it. It looks like that paper's screaming for fucking help every time I see it.
I know we've like taken pauses while smoking. I swear it feels like since we've been down and the cat's been let out of the cage, it's
Well, we
just
got
constantly
another
been
one
coming.
on deck too. We're about to, I
Oh.
mean, this is the Cannaverse Quadcast podcast. I was pretty clear about what was
But
going
that's
to
right.
happen.
As high as I am, my feet are still on the
So
ground,
we've
boys.
hit pretty much
you're
the
here.
movies
We
that
know.
have had cannabis in it. Like, how about TV shows? Not too many
Well, the ones
famous
I guess,
TV shows, and most of them
I
have been
have
cartoons.
one, only one, but you guys
What
go.
was your- yeah.
I
No,
only,
no, I wanna hear
one
yours
that
first.
actually doesn't just. There's been shows, of course, again that mention or have
But is the one you like?
cannabis
Is-
as a
is
joke.
there one you like
Well,
that
even
you-
if they're, I'm just in general ones that I not necessarily like. I've watched episodes of shows that I don't necessarily dislike.
Yeah.
If I don't like it, I don't like it. It does not mean that I'm hating.
No, of
Just
course.
because I don't like ketchup doesn't
Like
mean I
anyone
don't.
else,
Yeah,
I don't-
yeah. But there's a lot of TV shows that mention weed or have a joke about weed. But the first show that I actually watched that really on a regular basis, and I thoroughly enjoyed the show, was that 70s show.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Well,
right.
they actually, it became a thing where
That's a
they
good
sat
call.
around and smoked weed. You got everybody's point of view.
Yeah.
You even the
But they
seeing
never-
the background in the parents, like
they
as
never
a stone
openly
person.
mention
No, but
the
again,
word.
They don't,
it was
but it's
regularly.
super
It's
implied.
no.
Yeah,
it was
if
a
you're a
regular
stoner,
bit.
you know.
And it was a regular bit.
Yeah.
You could relate to sitting
Every-
at that table, especially us, because that was the 70s. We are those children.
Yeah.
I got a couple
think they
years
did
on
do
you.
an episode
I'm
on-
not
they
sure
did
about
do
you,
an
Mayhem.
episode
I
on-
got a
I'm
couple
49.
years-
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm
and
45.
I'm gonna be
Turning 50.
I'm 50 plus now. I'm gonna be 50 pluser. Probably a week after. Yeah, a week
Pluser.
after this podcast comes out.
Fucking guy.
I'm actually gonna be 52.
Bless.
And so our ages,
We're
we know
close.
that. So when we watch that, and a lot of people that listen to this podcast
Yeah.
we can really realize or had an older brother or uncle that sat at that fucking
Circle.
table.
Yeah.
And parents whose hair, we can relate to all of that bad wallpaper rolling up in the
Every-
back.
every single
so
piece.
for the cannabis universe, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us at our age now have been what I like to call we're guerrilla warfare. We've been in the troops. We've been in
Trenches,
the
yeah.
trenches for
Yeah,
so
we've
all
hit
of
it.
this legalization we've been dealing with for years, right?
Absolutely, you're
So
absolutely
to
correct.
watch that for me again as a TV show, that's really the only one other
Yeah.
than jokes about pot.
Now that makes
Yeah.
sense. And you know what? Funny enough, I'm glad you brought that up because it was nowhere on our list, and it definitely deserves to be on our list.
I totally forgot about
for
that one.
TV shows. That was, and I remember seeing that a few times. I wasn't a big fan of the show, but I remember seeing that just popping into the show.
There
and
was
seeing
some-
that a few
That's
times.
what made
Funny.
me watch the show.
Yeah.
As a pot smoker, that's legitimately.
Yeah.
It was funny and stuff, but
Yeah.
I watched
It was relatable.
because it was completely relatable, and it had nothing to do about being black,
I
about
know.
being white, about being anything.
It felt like an old
just-
70s show.
It felt like
That's
I was
exactly
in
what it was.
somebody's basement.
Yeah.
If it wasn't me, it was somebody's older brother.
Everybody
Exactly
had that
the-
kind of posse back in the day. Well, not everybody,
Not,
but
not
us
us,
lucky ones.
Not
did.
us, because I know I'm browner, you're
Yeah.
a little lighter brown, but
Yeah.
we grew up in the same-ish area with a lot of Jamaicans and stuff, because I'm
Yeah.
not Jamaican,
That's
I
what
am
happened
from
to-
Barbados, like we mentioned,
I ended
but
up
we
going
grew
there.
up with all of those,
Yeah.
so...
Well, I was lucky. See, I always got to like when because I'm Middle Eastern, you know, I'd always tell people, you know, they'd be like, "Oh, you're white." I'm like, "No."
You
And they're like, "So what are you?" I'm like, "I don't know."
You're you.
I don't know what white is. I don't know. Why do you call black people
You
black?
know what
why do you
white
call white
is.
people what? I know it. I'm saying like
Someone's
in general.
not unlocking the door for you to get cigarettes when
What
the
I-
door's closed.
No.
You know what?
No. Listen, here's where I'll tell you this. See, you automatically would experience racism because
Unfortunately-
because the color of your skin.
Babe,
So
just, unfortunately,
for me, it was different. For me, it was the racism I experienced was in the form of things like resumes.
yeah.
Like I was looking for a job. I know for a couple. I'll make this quick. I was looking for a job for a couple of months. Was having pretty bad luck. This is when I was like I think 21 or 22 years old, and a friend of mine said I was on Monster.com. He said,
Yes.
"Oh, well, let me." Okay, and so changed the name and friggin' yeah,
got
sure
bites.
as fuck. About a week and a half later, I started getting calls from the same companies I applied to months before.
Yes, sir.
So that's like for me. I only had and only once I was referred to as. I was 16. I was referred to the first time, and only once I was referred to as a sand nigger. Was the first, only one time.
Yeah.
Camel jockey / sand nigger.
Yeah.
That was the only time I ever heard it. I was like 16 years old, so I was kind of blessed in Canada not to be around it so much. And I was in a predominantly white neighborhood.
So you were black. Pretty much.
I
you
was
were
the darkest guy in Mississauga for a while.
100%.
Yeah, I was a black guy in Mississauga until, but that's the funny part. The first group of friends I end up meeting that I have relations that I end up like, treating like
Jamaican and
family, or
stuff like that.
Jamaican and
Yeah.
Trinidadian and Guyanese.
That's
and,
why you know so much about them good tasty doubles.
fucking right.
Yes.
And Pelori and Naki
Yes.
and Saltfish.
I
and-
love it when white people.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
bro.
nothing against white people, but I
Oh,
love
no,
it when
I know.
white people talk about food. It sounds so cute.
Yeah.
You know when they talk about and listen, I'm
Because it's
not.
next level thing. It's a whole
I just
different
want to
world.
mention again. As Nubian as I appear, I'm
Nubian.
actually, yes, I'm a product of a biracial relationship.
Yeah.
Where my black pappy banged and impregnated my
Yeah.
wife. So I'm
You're a
I'm
person of
mixed.
color.
Yeah, I'm a person of color, just
Yeah.
a bit browner than your Middle Eastern self.
Yeah.
But so to see those two worlds with the cooking and the way
yeah.
people look at the world, it has been a great eye
When I was
opener.
in
But
Jamaica,
food
it
is the
blew my
great
mind.
thing. Is the
Food
best
is the
thing.
ultimate. The one thing that'll make
Caucasian
someone,
people are so cute.
I bet you if you got a bunch of fucking Klansmen and gave them just some fucking, curry goat and fucking give them a couple of naan breads and some fucking some Pelori, you watch how quick that black people aren't that bad. You'll see like all these fucking races. Like just give them some good food. So you'll be like, okay, that's what they're eating. They can't be that.
No, well,
know,
they're down south, so they're eating a lot of black people food no matter what.
But yeah, but it's like more like chitlins and grits and shit like that. They had to eat like islands food, an actual
But
meal.
even that,
they
no,
might,
but
they might not
no,
be so
but
angry.
even
at
Middle
me.
Eastern food as well.
Maybe because they're
Middle
eating so
Eastern
many
food-
chicken fingers and shit. They angry.
Yeah, it comes down to seasoning. Like
Yeah, seasoning is
even
the
Middle
main
Eastern food, awesome. Italian food, awesome. Chinese food, awesome.
Yeah.
All of these things have flavors and
Yeah.
seasoning. Ketchup and salt and pepper only go so far, my
true.
Caucasian brothers.
That's true. I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. Hey,
Ketchup-
considering I'm very light skinned, I got discriminated as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
I
I
had
bet-
long
no.
hair. I couldn't get a job anywhere.
No, you were a rocker.
Yeah.
I bet you a whole bunch of people called you
Yeah.
a rocker,
A
right?
rocker, a
Rocker,
bum,
yeah.
a druggie.
Yeah.
I went to I went to Dominion to apply, and the guy's like, he
Where they
laughed at
still
me.
had the boxes that you
Yeah,
could
and he's
roll
like,
out?
you can't work here. He's
Oh.
like, you look like a fucking bum. He's
Yeah.
like, look at your hair. I'm like, yeah. So he's like, you kicked me out. You
Yeah.
wouldn't even let me fill out an application.
Yeah. Well, they could tell you that then. They can't say that now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
they don't see you. There's
They changed
no-
my name in school.
Yeah.
Long
What's
story
your
short-
background, Mayhem? If
Italian.
Okay, so you're I was gonna I'd never
growing
assume
up in
anything.
Alberta?
I was gonna. Oh, that's right. I think you mentioned about growing up.
Yeah.
So
They changed
even
my
being
name
an
in school.
Italian,
The only
here
Italian in Alberta,
at our age, because that was the
Yeah.
influx of now the Italians, the Jamaicans. A lot of people came over in those 70s.
Well, I mean,
so
this is-
we
we're
were
talking how
children.
long ago? How long ago were you at Alberta?
Does it matter?
I was
Because
six.
now I'm assuming now. See, that's
Oh,
what I
so
mean. When he
how
was
long did you
6,
live
he
there
must have
for?
been like one of the few Italians in Alberta.
Until I was 10.
So yeah, so wow, eh?
At that period, or right now, I bet you there's lots of Italians there. But when this cat
And
was there,
still get it's. Oh well. Shit happen. You know what the one thing is though that brings everybody together, no matter what. You're damn right, Mr.
Fucking
Mayhem.
right, buddy.
I love it.
You're damn right.
Damn right.
You're damn right. And thank God.
That's why we're all sitting here.
Yes.
That's it.
And it doesn't matter everybody who's sitting around. It isn't even about trying. We're not sitting here trying to pump weed.
No.
We're having a conversation and shooting the shit about what people can relate to.
We're talking with
while we're
people
smoking and weed.
about how cannabis makes your life better. How cannabis increases the productivity / value / quality of your life.
And
That's
not just
what it
about
is.
getting high. I want to mention too.
Yeah,
I know I keep
we want
talking
to break
about-
that stigma that we're not just stoners.
100%.
We're intelligent people.
Again,
and just because we smoke, we're not dummies.
No,
Yeah.
and as I'm older, and so I do make my own butter. I use coconut oil and stuff, make it a lot stronger than most. But anyway, I make creams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it is so good. I'm older, and even if you're not older, sometimes there's aches and pains. Sometimes there's just.
helps.
I kind of stay away from drugs.
Yeah.
Like really, even
Real
the
drugs.
Tylenol
Real
and
drugs.
shit. Like
Real
drugs.
drugs.
That is what I call drugs.
That shit will kill
I
you.
stay away from drugs. Yeah, I eat mushrooms. I eat this and that. I don't call those drugs.
Mushrooms
you know?
aren't drugs. To me,
No,
I don't
they're
know,
not
man.
drugs.
Animals don't grow out of a fucking pot. You know, I never see anybody. I never see anyone pick a
And
value
nowadays
tree.
it's different from when
You know,
we grew
so,
up.
like-
You got whatever it was.
You don't
As
have a
long-
Percocet tree in the back?
Yeah.
No, I had a
Yeah, it's
They grow like a sunflower.
Yeah?
yeah, it's nice to be able to
No Ativan tree?
just have that stuff. And it
100%.
actually, I'm not just getting stoned. It helps for my back. I
Yeah.
make some brownies, and I give that shit out. I give away, like Laura had mentioned before.
Yeah.
I make stuff that is really potent. I call them rabbit hole, whatever.
Rabbit
It
hole?
doesn't matter, whatever title. Brownies, cookies, whatever.
Yeah.
The next- the fifth dimension.
Yeah, but I give them to friends, all kinds. I give them to my grandmother. My grandmother is 90 plus years old.
There you go.
Amen.
She gives them to her friends
Shout out
who
to
are.
Grandma.
My grandma's the young one in the bunch at the poker club. I love you, Grandma. But again, I give her the edibles, and she slices a sliver of this stuff.
Yeah.
She sleeps fucking great.
It's amazing.
Her joints
Better than
don't
taking
hurt.
something
Yeah.
from the fucking doctor.
It is
Better than taking something that's going to give
unbelievable.
you
She knows- and
18
there's-
side effects.
There's absolutely nothing in it.
Absolutely.
Coconut oil, which is great to digest.
Yeah.
It's great for your skin. It's healthy for everything.
That's what's
and
mostly,
just some
yeah.
good herb. Some
Yep.
good herb mixed in there, and it's
Amen.
great for everything. And if you want to eat some
1000%.
and hang out with Alice, you're good to go as well.
That's what I want to hear, man. That's spreading the love, right? That's literally
Yeah.
that's literally the definition of spreading the love.
Yes.
You know. So in TV shows, for us down this list, we'll go down it pretty quick. So the one I've been watching, I mean, my friend Leah, shout outs to Leah, who got me hooked on this show, is High Maintenance.
Oh shit.
I don't know if you've ever seen this one. It's actually
good.
an HBO show. It's based on a pot dealer, a guy in his looks like late 30s, early 40s, who rides around his bike on New York, and it kind of goes as from the pot dealer's perspective. You know, all the different kinds of clients. You have that one client who wants you to chill.
Yes.
No, you just come to drop something off. Like, what are you doing, man? You
I haven't heard of this.
Check it out.
I
It
will
is
definitely-
funny.
No, definitely.
4 seasons of it, I believe. are
Okay,
out.
no, I'll check
Definitely
it out.
check it out. Great show. And then obviously, South Park. We were talking about the South Park, The Simpsons, and Family Guy.
Longest running show.
Longest running show. I know
Yeah.
South Park's best episode for me for Cannabis is the medicinal fried chicken one.
That was the best. I'm
know.
telling you.
And
Oh, that was
if you can't, whether you're
shit.
high or not,
Yeah.
you cannot watch that episode and not laugh.
I love
Especially if
South
you
Park,
watch
man.
Scarface. Especially if
Yeah.
you're a fan of Scarface.
Oh.
The little side plot they have going
Yes,
where
yes,
Cartman
yes.
is the Scarface.
Yes.
Oh my god.
That was so much fun. That
and it
show.
shows how ridiculous the laws were when they first implemented them in Colorado.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, once again, it looks like some stupid fucking toilet humor show, but really they're going after at the time, which was a very current and new issue they were having in Colorado.
Honestly,
they just
and-
legalized it, but every 5 minutes there was something new. Oh, the doors can't be this size. Oh, you can't be this far from this.
Yeah.
And you can't be, and which basically happened here, kind of in a way.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about South Park. They hit those topics hard.
They hit them hard.
Yeah.
They have a
Say
5-day
it, they
turnaround.
completely throw it in your face without literally saying it, which is
Exactly.
the brilliance of the
That's what
comic,
it is.
the writing. That is absolutely
Yeah.
awesome because you know exactly what they're saying.
Well, in that story, in that same one, it was the weed story, but the side story with Cartman was,
Yes.
KFCs were getting banned in low-income areas, right? Because that's where they're only places they were.
Yeah.
And, and it was supposed to, because people wanted to be healthier and so forth, that ended up just causing, people stopped eating fried chicken and supplemented with smoking more weed.
Yeah, we're smoking more weed.
And
It was great.
just to get the weed, they had to give themselves testicular cancer.
Yes.
And sticking their balls
Yeah.
in the microwave and just we watched that episode. That
What's
definitely
better than weed and chicken, man?
Oh, nothing.
Weed and fried chicken.
Fried chicken. I'll take fried chicken on its own. But
Yeah.
usually after the weed, you're gonna need some fried chicken. Anyway, you
Yes,
chop it.
yes.
That's
and then
where the
Family
sticky
Guy.
fingers came from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Family Guy episode 420. I mean, that whole episode was like it was like a song and dance about Ken, a bag of weed song. And there was actually some pretty informational tidbits about how cannabis got how I think Brian in the episode explains how it was Richard Taft created a smear campaign because he was representative of the timber industry.
Yeah.
And was made just to slate it against the replacement for timber. And it's funny, I already knew the general story, but when I watched that episode, a comedic cartoon, fucking it actually had some pretty informational
No, it's
shit.
unbelievable.
I've
It's
learned a lot of
unbelievable.
stuff from Family Guy, but as a weed smoker, it was awesome watching
You're
them
like, oh,
dissect. Yeah.
huh.
Like they dissected cannabis
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Huh.
So
Say it without saying it.
yeah, that's one of those. It's the
The art,
intelligent
the
humor.
sleight of hand,
Intelligent
that
humor,
verbal
man.
sleight of hand. Say it without saying.
A lot of killer comedians have that style of
No, that's hard. That
The
shit's
lead
your craft.
in. Oh fuck.
Yeah, that shit's like a craft.
My
It's-
favorite man, Don Rickles.
Oh, God.
Don
Oh.
Rickles used to serve up a diss without it being a diss, but everybody would know it was a diss.
Oh,
Everybody would be like, ooh.
100%.
Yeah,
Like
He got away with murder. That
Oh.
motherfucker got away with
Yeah, he was
murder.
mean
Man.
with a capital M.
I would have
man.
loved. I really
Jesus.
do
a
regret
throat
not
punch
getting the
with a
chance.
smile.
Oh yeah,
like my
Every
daughter
time.
said, a throat
And
punch
every
with a
comedian
smile.
loved it. Every
Yeah.
comedian loved him. That's
Yeah.
how you knew he was a
exactly.
G. He was every comedian's favorite comedian.
Yeah, see, like there's again the list of 5.
Yeah.
Growing up,
It's hard to,
and,
I know.
in the era where he
was
was
an
still
unfair
young,
question.
and he was always relevant, but he was very relevant in that. All of these guys
I
were
love the roast,
alive
man.
and
I love
relevant.
the- Oh,
I
yes,
was
his
still at the
roast.
days where these guys still lived out their last 10 years. I was
Yeah.
lucky enough as a kid to watch all these
Yeah.
comedic geniuses just start out.
On the Johnny
Robin
Carson
Williams,
show.
how can you not mention
Oh, yeah,
Robin
Robin
Williams? in
Williams,
comedy?
yeah.
I got to
Robin,
see the
yeah.
beginning of that. Everybody knows
Mork and Mindy.
this and that.
Yeah, Mork
and
and
even
Mindy.
before that, sure, he was great, high on cocaine. It was amazing to be able to grow up, and that's what
Yeah,
comedy
we got lucky with
was.
that. We got lucky.
Unbelievable, because a lot of people get to watch.
I remember
stuff
there was an
and-
era where it was basically anything that was a movie and comedy was about Robin Williams, Billy Crystal, or Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah,
It was one of those three for like 8 years. If a movie came out about comedy,
They were
was-
in it.
It was something to do with that.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
Chevy
Like
Chase.
Chevy Chase had the National Lampoons.
There
era.
was the
That
odd
was
few,
before
and he
that.
had the couple,
That was
right?
before
And he
that.
had the comedic.
He had
and
his
the-
talk show, which was
Bev-
like,
Well, he had
Beverly
Fletch
Hills.
Lives.
Yeah, that
Fletch
was pretty
and all
rough.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Those were the National Lampoon style comedy was stoner comedy.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was.
like similar to like the Van Wilder style. Like,
Yes.
it is once again. Any of those movies surely qualify as like even like things like what was it, Porky's and
Yes,
stuff like that. Like, those
Jesus.
are the Nerds, Revenge of the Nerds. Those are all like to me
Oh,
stoner
we're going way
comedies.
back
And they're just
now.
like
And I know that related. Those movies related, like those Revenge, because it was pure outcast.
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And like you
That's what
said,
it
we
was.
were all kind of in some way
We were
looked
all-
at everybody
Yeah.
as some kind of an outcast. And,
Everybody was different
and
at some
didn't
point in
the
their life.
weed help, man? Even if it was
Yeah.
shitty weed back then, didn't it help, man?
Yeah, I grew
I
up
think-
across
I
the
think
street from
my
the jungle.
favorite,
I used to
like,
walk in there and
My two
It
favorite
didn't matter who
comedians
you
to
were.
watch
Yeah,
when I'm
that's-
high is
yeah.
Bill Murray and
Oh,
freaking
yes.
Bill Murray movies. For some reason, the way Bill Murray is, something
Yeah.
I fucking laugh my ass off. and fucking Don Rickles and John Ritter.
Oh,
Oh my God! Yes.
Anything that
Three's
guy did, I
Company.
laughed at. Three's Company,
but-
and he had that other show sadly for a year before
with
he
his
passed away.
about the
His
parents.
daughters.
Yeah.
Because I used to watch
11
that because I
rules
was
to
roughly
teach-
a parent and
11
around then
rules
too.
to something.
Yeah,
to date
10
my
rules
to
daughter.
date my
daughter
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something. Yeah.
But honestly, the Don Wrinkles,
Wrinkles.
the little skit he did with against Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Holy, that
What was
was
that
like
story? Yeah, that's the best Don Rickles story ever.
Yes.
He comes to the he's sitting at you ever heard this one? He's sitting at a table at a restaurant, and Frank Sinatra comes in and he sits down, and Don Rickles knows Frank Sinatra.
Yes.
So Don Rickles is there with some chick he's trying to get laid. So he gets up and walks over to Frank Sinatra and he's like, "Hey Frank, how you doing?" He's like, "Listen, I'm here with this girl. I'm trying to get laid. Do me a favor. In about 5 minutes or so, can you come over and just like
introduce
say
yourself.
hi to us? I want to introduce you to her and stuff." And Frank's like, "Yeah, of course, Don. No problem. No problem." So Don goes, sits back down. Frank Sinatra comes over to the table 5 minutes later. "Oh, hey, Don, how you doing?" Don Rickles looking at him and goes, "Frank, what the fuck, man? You can't see I'm eating, man? Get the fuck out of here." And apparently Frank Sinatra just sat there with his mouth open for like 15 seconds. He didn't know what to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! Like to me, makes him a
shit.
legend. That
Yeah.
alone makes you a legend. Like he dabbled in
Beat
shit
it,
that
Frankie.
was
Holy
Yeah.
yeah.
shit,
like. He was like
Yeah,
Beat it.
ruthless, just
No.
ruthless.
But
I
that's
mean,
the best.
when he tells the story, and the best is you got to hear Frank Sinatra. I think there's an old Johnny Carson interview where Frank Sinatra
Yeah.
tells the story, and it's just. You just see the anguish in his face, you
Yeah,
just see
it's
like Don Rickles fucked me, like he just put me, like just said like
That was
the
like, you
biggest
got
star in the world, the biggest star in the world at the
Yes.
time.
Yeah.
Internationally,
You got
he told him
punked.
to go fuck up. He's busy eating his soup.
You don't
I just
see
got
him
my
eating.
soup, right? Fuck up. Like unbelievable. But that's the kind of comedy I love. I love I love that roast style comedy.
It was nice that we got to witness that. Like
Yeah,
I said,
we did.
coming up as in that perfect age that we
We got to see it when it was
actually-
fresh. The Jimmy Kimmel interview. He was always on Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, he's older. It's great for the
Yeah.
shout out, but we got to see them at work.
Yeah.
They were working still. They weren't at the end of their years. They were still at work.
100%.
And that was good.
So
100%.
let's talk about some cannabis culture comedy pioneers.
Yeah, which was something we talked
We've
about earlier.
hit some of
We'll
these
go
guys
over
along
this
the
quick.
way, but yeah.
So earlier, George Carlin.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
I
sir.
loved him, once again, because he was the intelligent stoner. He was a guy who would open your eyes. Like when I was younger, I got into bands like Rage Against the Machine and Bob Marley and
Love and peace, but stay off my lawn because I
Well,
will stomp you.
yeah, the truth.
Yes, the truth. Exactly.
I finally got to hear someone talk about the truth. Pink Floyd.
Oh, yes.
You hear about actual atrocities that are happening in the world and how things aren't so sugar coated, happy, sticky, smelly. But that's what George Carlin was one of those people that opened my eyes to what what's
Yes,
actually
sir.
happening, like the whole corporate machine and how everything kind of eventually becomes theirs.
We're just
you know.
maggots in their eyes.
Well, we're not.
Yes.
We're
not
battery
maggots.
cells. He described it once really good. He said we're all just battery cells,
Yeah.
and they just they shove all this food in our mouths and all this stuff to charge her up, and they take us to work, do our little work, and when we run out, they let us go rest and recharge, and they send us back in. But I was telling Mayhem about this movie. I don't know if you ever watched it. It's called They Live. It's with Roddy Piper.
Yes, sir.
And he
yes,
puts on
I
the
have-
glasses
And, he
and-
sees everyone in
yeah.
the video store and shit all
The
freaked.
key line.
Yes,
what was
sir.
it? I came here to
We're
do two
old.
things:
We
chew
are
bubble
old.
gum and kick ass. And I'm
Yes.
almost out of bubble gum.
Roddy.
But he
Real
puts on
rowdy.
the glasses and all the beer ads and all that stuff. Instead of beer ads, now say obey, consume.
Yes.
Pretty much.
And that was
You know.
back then.
That was
That's
a
like
movie
what?
in the
That was-
80s.
yeah, I was gonna say mid to
here's the
late
killer.
80s, right? Mid
Here's
to
the
late
killer
80s.
part of that. We discussed this last week, I think, too. That movie came out in the late 80s.
Okay, shit. I'm
Based
old.
on a book written in 1964.
Yeah, it was an oldie.
That was an old. That story has been around for a long time, and I mean,
But you
like,
see how they
not
made it
based
look like a
loosely,
joke,
based
though?
on the book.
Yeah.
That's how it was in the book. The book was saying you turn around, everything was taken over. Everything you looked at when they put it on, you can see that there were still human beings, but among us, there was these elite alien race that was really just
Trying to
kind of like-
brainwash everybody.
Well, at the
Yeah.
end of the day, their security. They don't have security for us. They're embedded within us.
Who was the author of the book? Original.
I-
You know?
I gotta
Okay,
look that
try to
up.
find out and put it up.
I'll look that up and I'll put it up
And
in
you
the
said
notes.
that's
I'll
from,
give it
like,
to you as well.
64.
1964.
Yeah.
the
There
book
was
was
another book, just because we're talking about literature now, there's another book, and it was written roughly in the same time, and I have a copy of it as well. It was written in and around the same time. The only reference I could put in is he is the one who wrote the book, and Charles Manson named his kids after this guy. After this author, it was a big pivotal moment.
Not Aleister Crowley.
I'm sorry, I can't remember. But
Okay.
anyway, in this book, I don't even want to say the title. Anyway, he mentions like e-cigarettes and how it's about a
the people won't
non-being,
look up
like
from
say
their-
somebody whatever coming to her,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of story, and it's really relatable and things. But it talks about things. That was the point
gonna
I was
get that
making
info off you
about
for
like
sure.
e-cigarettes
Yeah.
and that were never thought of, and like explaining like how these, like even almost how they work, and,
Yeah.
and the culture of almost like the cults, what we know as cults now, you know, the forming of the pilgrimage to whatever. But they start talking about that stuff before this is like 62, before anyone's like majorly doing acid
And what happened to
starting
Charles
cults.
Manson?
Oh yeah, but back then literature was a big thing. All of
Yeah.
these writers and
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
like Fear and Loathing, One Flew Over
Yeah.
the Cuckoo's Nest. These are all people that spawned out of the early '60s doing psychedelics and promoting psychedelics.
So the
And
truth was
I'm
out
not
there,
gonna
and
mention
they
everybody.
hit it on
These
us.
books were blamed. Some of these books were blamed for mass shootings. And
Way
Yeah,
ahead of
exactly.
their time.
Yeah.
That's
Way
right.
ahead of their time is the point, though. Like
Yeah.
you said, this book I got to find
Way
out.
ahead.
like
Way
1984 and bringing.
So they were telling us the truth a long time ago.
Way and
And then
I
they
think
hit
they've-
us on
they've
it.
been
did they
trying
know?
to tell
Oh, they
us
don't
the
know what
truth.
they're. It's unbelievable.
They've
But
been
that's a
trying to
whole
tell us
other
the truth.
story.
Yeah, that's
Don't
what-
think about that
Well,
shit
that's
and
a,
eat a
that's a
handful of
podcast.
mushrooms.
That's a
Or
podcast
do.
we're gonna have you back on. For.
Oh,
that's
I'm
the
in.
next podcast we talk about.
I'm good
for
with
sure.
literature. I'm a triple threat. I'm
I like
Love
to
it.
hear that.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I'm a father of
I'm
3.
pretty.
Yeah, because the white side of me, I know about economics, mortgages, and taxes.
God
and the
damn.
black side of me is right in on the legacy market. We're
Market.
good.
Yeah,
And I
the
torture
Arab-
myself through comedic therapy.
The Arab side of me
Nice.
just wants to talk about smoking weed and having
Let's
fun.
do it.
Well, at least for everybody
More.
out here.
That's what I said.
That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move on to. Let me see here. Bill Maher,
Maher.
another political
Awesome.
Stoner.
political stoner, intelligent stoner.
Yeah.
The Religulous movie was one of my favorite movies I've ever seen.
That was great.
No matter what your stance is on religion, watch that movie.
No, it's a writer, like it's a
I mean,
factual thing.
It is a factual thing.
Yeah, that's what it says.
You know, it's not. You know, at the end of the day, I'm not super religious personally, but you don't have to be to watch this movie, and it does shine a big light on, you know, how far we would, like, just like we were just talking about now, how far you can be manipulated by a story.
Yes.
As opposed to
How
you know,
easily, too.
It's so easily.
as opposed to taking into the context of the things that are happening around you and basing your reaction on those things, you're more likely to base your reactions on a story that may or may not have happened. That is the
History.
the
History.
trip for me. That's the trippy thing for me.
Yes.
That's where I think mushrooms kind of and psilocybin in general, those are the things that disconnect you from that bullshit reality.
Yeah, the
Bring
fake
you back
reality.
to the. Every time I do mushrooms, I feel it brings me back to the real place.
Yeah,
And I disconnect a little bit more from the.
do you disconnect
I
or do you connect?
I disconnect from the bullshit world and I connect back to the real.
I'm gonna keep this real quick,
Yeah,
quick,
yeah.
because we can talk about
No,
this
no,
shit.
sure, of
Now
course.
this is my world. Again, I'm glad you brought it up because
Yeah.
sure. You can. I eat a lot of mushrooms. I ain't afraid to say that. I will
Yeah.
promote that shit all day. And
Yeah.
and I eat a lot of acid too. I'm a proud member of that. Listen, buy the ticket, take the ride for the bus.
I love it,
And
yeah.
listen, again, sure you can get high and fucked up.
Yeah.
You don't have to do that. These drugs, as people call them, they're not drugs. These medications of the mind are so much more than just getting fucking high. You can get off. You know, you want to be in for 3 hours, you want to be in for 10 hours. I
Yeah.
got you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Hook
yeah,
me up. Anyway, they're so much better.
100%.
From microdosing to clearing out that mental closet. So I just want to make that point. They're not just about getting high.
It's
Do
not.
some research. We
For
can talk
some
about
people,
this
it's
for
an
all.
actual spiritual
Listen,
connection.
man. And here's a little
And
side note.
that'll be part of the next podcast with
Yeah.
Dave as well. We're definitely going because
Everybody's
he's the right
had
guy
their
to talk.
thing and stuff. I'm not
Hopefully,
saying
if
go
we're
and
lucky,
do
we'll
this.
get,
I'm not saying don't
It's
do
not
it.
for everybody.
It is not for everybody, but I'm just saying it has helped me too. It's helped me catch a great bus. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it's great to have experiences on these things, not just to catch a buzz.
Yeah.
You know, have an experience. That's what these things are for. Sometimes you'll cry, sometimes you'll laugh, sometimes colors are going to be beautiful. Unicorns are real, but sometimes it can get dark.
Yeah.
That's all a part of this. So like taking a bit and getting high, but again, taking that experience is a different thing, and it's helped me.
Yeah.
I don't need it particularly for anything to conquer something else, but it's opened my eyes and again shown light in places that are hard to see shit, and the realizations
And that's the
can
beauty of
be,
those.
although frightening sometimes, very personally overwhelming and pleasing. And I recommend that shit for anybody.
It's the frightening part that makes you repair.
Listen, man, you cannot run away from yourself. You
Nope.
can
To me,
lie to
I think
everybody in the world, and you cannot run away from yourself.
mushrooms,
But I
to
feel
me,
that's
is
what it
more
is.
of a disconnection from this reality that everybody
agree.
else is living,
No.
I agree.
and you connect to the real reality
Well, that's
of
why
who
I
you
mentioned the disconnect, connect, because I always connect.
Yeah.
You may
I
feel
think
you're
it's a connection.
disconnecting
No,
to something
you
else.
are
You are
connecting.
Connecting.
I'm not trying to disconnect
Oh,
from
I'm not.
anything, but I connect to whatever it is in that moment, in those hours, in that experience.
But I feel
Yo,
that's
guys,
the
let's
reality.
not get on the. This is a weed show. Let's
Yeah.
not get on the psychedelics because
We
I'll
are,
fucking trip
listen,
y'all
we are
asses
going to have
straight
this
out.
conversation. We are going to have this
Oh.
conversation in detail.
But just again, it's better than just getting high, guys. I'm glad you brought that up, Frank.
Yeah, 1,000%.
It's way
That's
better
a whole
than
different
that.
thing. I
Helps-
mean, like, smoking cannabis is
a mental Red
obviously-
Bull.
Yeah, you know, smoking cannabis is not just about getting high, and neither is any other type of psychedelic medication. It is about repair. It is about rejuvenation. It is about trying to get your.
I ain't religious, but
bring
preach,
yourself
my
back.
brother.
Yeah, it's about
It
bringing
is.
yourself back to a point where you're not so convoluted with everything that's been stuffed in your head for the last.
Be
20 to 30
yourself,
years.
whatever
Yeah.
that
that's
might
right.
be.
And the older you are, unfortunately, the older you are, like myself, you've been hearing more than this. Even if you're not paying attention to the bullshit, it's somehow finding its way into your head.
Yeah.
It's always going.
It's
to.
pleasing to hear
Yeah.
that shit. I'm okay.
You
I'm a
can't go
step ahead of
swimming.
the groove,
You can't go
but it
swimming
doesn't
without
matter.
getting a little water in your
You're
mouth.
damn,
you
and
know,
you
no
can't
matter
be
what.
afraid of getting wet. But again,
it.
too, with psychedelics,
Yeah.
it's okay. Start out in the shallow end. You'll get to
Yeah.
the deep end. You
Talk
don't have
to
to jump
someone
in the deep end
experienced.
with
Yeah.
bricks
Talk
on
to
your
someone
feet.
experienced.
Don't
Exactly.
jump
Try
in there.
with someone
Exactly.
experienced.
Go
Try
from the
with
shallow
someone
end.
there
people.
with you.
Tempt the waters.
Do
you don't have to
everything you
rush in.
do. Everything you do safely.
Yeah, I don't care
Exactly.
if
That's
you,
how
you
you
think
should-
you know how to swim.
Yeah.
Go in from the shallow
Fucking
end.
right. Don't do a hero dose
Even
right
with
out the
these
gate.
dab shits, like
Oh, yeah.
you said, the Blazer Market video. Yeah.
Yeah, I ease
Yeah.
myself into that shit. And I
Yeah.
smoke a lot of weed, and
Know
I
your
ease
lane.
myself into a dab. You
Know your
like,
lane, motherfucker.
Especially if I got shit to do.
My daughter and I watched a guy do a dab at the Blazers Market. I was inches away. The eyes were telling me, "You're up next." My mouth literally read
yeah.
those eyes and said, "No,
Oh, yeah.
motherfucker,
I'm out.
no."
I always have the same excuse. I'm like, hey, bro, so I got shit to do.
Yeah, well, as my daughter
Shit to
whispers
do.
in my ear while I'm smoking that 18-gram Cannaverse
yeah,
smoke,
that was
my
crazy.
daughter whispers in my ear while I'm
Blazers
saying
Market's
no
on the
to
next
the.
level.
Oh,
Yeah, that
He
guy's
makes these. If
awesome.
you guys check out at Blazers Market, he actually sells these things. He's got these Cannagar molds that you can make. I think he's got multiple sizes, but the one we tried out was just like
15, 18
special
grams
edition.
or something.
It looked like the end of a Winston Churchill.
Oh.
It looked like the last
Like a
quarter of
broomstick.
a Winston Churchill cigar. It was like a broomstick,
It
straight
made
up.
my
That's a
night
good expression.
after the Blazers Market at
roughly
work.
roughly
long
about a
night.
3-inch of a broomstick.
Oh.
Yeah. To the point where he had to use, similar to a salt shaker cap, to use it as a filter because there was nothing
Not
else
similar.
you could really put.
It was.
Well, no, it was the cap of the tube, and he had to poke holes in it, so it ended up looking like a salt shaker cap.
Absolutely amazing.
Insane, but that was crazy. Check him
Ingenuity.
out if you guys
Oh.
want Cannagar molds. You want Cannagar ideas for Cannagars. Check out his page. He's got a whole bunch of stuff on there. I
Everything and
believe
anything.
he's got,
Big up Blazers Market.
Blazer and Hotcase. I believe the company Hotcase.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's
Yes.
one of the companies he has as well that does
Bulletproof, waterproof.
waterproof
Yes.
for your bongs, for
Yeah.
your pipes, for your
Pretty much
smell
for
proof. If you want to
anything.
carry on your weed and not crush it
Yeah.
in your pocket.
Had all kinds of killer shit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's got.
Him and everybody else.
Yeah, he's a big.
God
dude.
bless.
He's a big dude. And then Jim Brewer we talked about. He was in. He's been pretty integral. Every time you see him,
He's
see,
a
I
pure
like Jim Brewer.
stoner.
I think he's hilarious, but he does super play the stoner. I mean,
Yeah.
like his act is the stereotypical stoner.
Yes, sir.
You know, like, and it is funny. He's one of the few people personally I feel are funny with it. Like at least like trying to be.
He's funny. He's
You know,
a
but
character and a half.
Yeah, he's up there. He's up
But
there.
that's
for
how
sure.
they always
That's his character. Right?
show a person smoking weed.
Yeah.
Is as a stoner
That's it.
stereotype.
He does
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
stereotypical stoner. Jim
Yeah.
Brewer does the best stereotypical stoner act ever.
And Chong.
Yeah, well, so I don't think Chong's doing an act.
Well,
man.
he's
No,
in.
I think he's just
I
that
really
guy.
don't think. I think Jim Brewer. I think he's kind of like his act, but it's not.
But
him.
no, it's no, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously, yeah, Joe Rogan.
No,
I love this guy.
The difference, again, people have it as a topic or bring it to the point. This guy has a discussion
yeah.
about it. Doesn't just tell you why. He asks why. He'll explain the point, which
He
is
brings
great.
on specialists.
Yeah.
He brings on scientists.
He wants you to go and find out this information. He's not trying to suppress or hold back.
We
He's
like
letting you
we
know.
like the prove me wrong attitude more than the here's what I think.
What a point.
You know, like I
Well
personally like
played,
prove,
Fareed.
you know, if not bad for a stoner.
No, that was
He
no,
packed
for
the
real.
lunch.
No,
I
that was
packed the
yeah,
lunch,
no, that
you know.
did for me.
Yeah.
It did.
He's got his lunch ready.
Yeah.
Roll a joint. What are we doing here?
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I feel like if you guys are at Rocco Spacamoro. Well, yeah, we got some hash here. You know, Dave's here. And I just happen to have a little chunk of Lebanese red hash.
Wow.
And I think we just also happen to have some pretty crazy snow leopards still left over. I thought maybe.
That's what I grabbed at the market. I love hash. That was the first original concentrate for me. You know,
Yeah, hash
getting
was-
that old
I smoked
biker style
that before
hash.
weed. That's what I can find before
100%,
weed.
100%. But
If you can find weed back in the day, you were a G.
how it got me, well, growing up in Finch, I could always have access. See, that's why I've always kind of been in the, you said about when did I start getting, I've always been in the market of the cannabis world
Yeah.
for a long time.
Even
so
for me, since I was
growing up in
14.
Jane and Finch,
Well, 13.
there was always weed
Surrounded.
around
Yeah.
and being like mixed. So my uncle is white. So I always had a link about like the hash. I didn't know, like, I thought those were back then drugs.
Yeah.
Like hash and
That's what I was
acid.
told.
I thought those
Those
were
were the
hash.
drugs.
Those were drugs, right? I didn't
Well, I
really
was
know.
buying hash
But
at
weed
house
wasn't even a
parties and-
thing to me. It's never been a thing. That's why I've always thought. I've always been promoting weed isn't a bad thing. Since a kid, it's never been. All the other
there's
anyway. But then my parents moved up to Pickering. Anytime it was a lot lighter. Let's say in environment, it was a
Yes.
lot lighter up there, and that's where I was introduced to hash. And I already knew about acid, but I was kind of introduced to hash out there, so I like to call it the first concentrate. Later on, I became, let's say, an urban agent, right? A street side pharmacist, let's
Exactly,
say.
yeah.
You know, let's call
Yeah.
that right.
Okay.
But I
Connoisseur.
yeah, exactly. You know what? Thanks. From back then.
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot of biker-ishy type of people.
Yeah.
Real hash. Real hash, right?
Yeah.
Before the red wrap stuff, you guys
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about
yeah.
that. Before it was all being pre-mixed and stuff.
Oh,
the,
yeah,
the
absolutely.
temple balls. Real good stuff.
Pre-stomping days.
Yeah, oh, so
Well,
good.
I think it was super. It was
real
mostly,
I just call it real hash
It was
now.
mostly
Yeah.
keef back then. I think
Yeah,
because
it
they
started
collected
getting
so
fucked
much
up.
keef.
Once that red wrap came up, it started
Yeah.
changing things, and people started adding stuff. Like I knew boys that would
heard
mix it;
some
it was still
crazy
good,
shit
but it
back
was
then. I heard they were putting everything from like heroin to fucking
cheap shit. Temple Ball was like a heroin hash
What
mix
was that
or
other
something.
one?
I heard motor oil and
Motor
A
oil,
lot of
yeah,
motor
I heard
oil.
motor
I
oil.
watched that, so I stopped smoking hash.
Vaseline.
Too.
Because
Yeah,
I'm
Vaseline,
old,
you knew
my
was way
lungs
in
now
there.
is bad, but the taste of hash, the buzz is different. Okay, so he talked about the real stoner,
Yeah.
a brewer, the real stoner. When I smoke hash, I am that stoner.
You're that guy?
I have my head
Hey, man.
I have my head in the fridge, eating a whatever it is,
Yeah.
figuring out what I'm gonna cook while I eat that. I am the biggest stoner in the world. It is such, that was my first original edible. Back then, I used to psychedelics and hash. We used to get microdots back then. the
Yeah.
Pre-liquid.
Yeah.
Anyway, I would mix up like 5 or 6 hits of acid and mix it in with a half
and
quarter of
peas.
hash.
Oh my
I know.
God.
And that hash back then was, you could press, it was soft. You could with your fingers
Yeah,
play.
yeah, I
You'd
remember.
stick it on a lighter. You know what I mean?
But I remember when you used to get it. I don't know if this ever happened to you, but I used to get it like on a quarter,
Yeah.
right?
And you'd stick it on your lighter. You didn't
Yeah.
have to put it in a bag. You
Yeah,
stuck
you-
it on your lighter
You
or
would just get it on a quarter. Someone would give it to you like an actual quarter, a 25-cent piece.
gram, 2 grams
Yeah,
on
and
a
they'd
quarter.
put like 2 grams or 3 grams
Yeah.
on a quarter. And
Well,
it'd
I
be like this
used to-
fat little burger.
I used to mix it with acid,
Yeah.
and I would eat that.
Fuck.
or just like a half quarter hash. I'd roll it up in a ball. Original edibles.
That's like a super wild roof.
Listen,
bar.
I shout out to all the edible vape makers
That's
now
a
that
party.
are out there,
That's
like
a party
Mama's
and all
Edibles,
that.
all these people.
Oh, yeah, Mama T's Edibles,
Listen,
yeah.
I'm from the day where people would be like, "You want a piece of cake?" And there was a stick sticking out of the Betty Crocker cake mix still. Like, you had to have good teeth back then to eat shit.
I knew. I knew what you're saying.
Oh, it was bad.
Oh, yeah.
Tasty is not the word.
No, I mean, like, hey, I remember weed muffins and weed cookies tasting actually horrendous. I think one time I went to...
Well, back in the day, we used to actually grind up the weed and mix it with the batter.
That's what
And then
everyone thought
cook
you
it.
had to do.
Yeah.
Everyone thought you had to do
I
we
stayed
didn't
away from that
decarb, we
until-
didn't make butters.
No, until recently, I
Nobody
only
knew that shit.
I
There
was
was no internet.
forced to start making oil and product for myself because of
Yeah.
the market, because everything being labeled with not what it is.
Yeah.
Thankfully, through you guys and Designer Dank,
Yeah.
really, when I know I get some edibles, I know it is what it says. I'm guaranteed that. I know that.
Well, we started investing in making our own
Oh,
edibles because
the market
every time we
is-
get them, it's in the
The
sprayed
market
edibles.
is saturated. Therefore,
Yeah, a lot of
sometimes you
garbage.
can't get good
much.
edibles from
much.
my side. So therefore, I started making my own shit. The market forced me to make my own shit.
That's what it did for us too.
It forced me.
That's
They
what it did
forced.
for us too.
Thank God, though.
Consistency, man, means
Exactly.
everything. To
That's
me,
the
in this
problem.
world,
I
and
help out a million people.
when it comes to
Thank
flower,
God.
edibles,
Which I give away at my
concentrates.
comedy show. Even you
Yeah.
walk in, you're gonna get. I don't suggest you eat them while you're there. But
Actually, you know what, Dave? Speaking of your comedy show,
Yeah,
this-
you know what?
let's-
Let's
shit.
hit this.
So this is
Let's hit
February-
get
this
it
up.
over with.
No,
Let's hit it.
we'll get it over with. This is
No
fine.
way.
We're taking
Let's
our
do
sweet ass
this.
time, unless you got somewhere to go.
I
We got
have
nowhere to
absolute-
go.
No,
All right.
the guys, again, I appreciate being here. This is like
Oh, man,
the
my
off the
pleasure,
riff,
man.
the stuff like that. Oh, this is actually fantastic. This
Absolutely,
is fantastic.
man. We're glad
And again,
to have
I
you. We
thank
hope it's the first of many.
So we talked about stoner culture. We talked about movies, TV shows. Let's talk about you. Let's
talk
what
about
you
Dave
got
Seeley.
coming up.
Yes.
What do you got coming up for us?
February 11th. Tell us about the event.
Saturday, February 11th. Okay, everybody, my name is David Seeley at King's Court Comedy, spelled with Z. On February 11th, which is a Saturday, I'm hosting another show. I'm not actually hosting, it's just my show. And there's going to be 8 great comedians and a host. It's in a 420 friendly environment. You can sit in your chair and watch the show, unbothered, chill out, have a kick-ass empanada. We'll get to that later. There's food, there's refreshments.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there's going to be other beverages as well. There's a Canna Lounge where you can actually sit off the side, still be comfortable, enjoy the show.
That'll be open, I think, to like 1
And it's a
a.m.
beautiful
Yeah.
environment, so I just wanted to get that out. Thank you guys and all the sponsors, Designer Dank, Mayhem, you guys, the Dank, Growers World, everybody. I want to thank everybody. But anyway, February the 11th, it's Saturday. It's just after my birthday. I'm getting old. Please come out and see me. I can die anytime.
Don't
Like
say
I
that.
said,
Come
I'm
on.
50 plus. I'm going to be 50
Yeah, but you
pluser by the
smoke
time
weed,
this
man.
You're
gotta be-
medicated.
No, it
Yeah,
keeps
you're
me
pickled
young,
from
and when
the
I
inside.
don't
You're
feel
pickled from the
young,
inside.
at least I am pickled, seasoned, and high, so I
That's
don't
it.
feel as much, you know.
Loving it.
But the show's gonna be great. Okay, now bear with me for 1 second. I'm gonna throw out these names really
Take
fast.
your sweet
Do
ass
what you
time.
gotta
I
do,
just
brother.
want to give the lineup
This is you.
again. So it's going to be hosted by Brandon Zakaya. If I pronounce anybody's name slightly wrong, I'm sorry, but you still got to come.
Blame the
Now,
weed.
we got comedians. We got Michelle Swee. We got Tyler Stevens. We got Jeff O'Brien. We got myself, David Seeley. We got Mishy. We got Anel K. Here we go. I'm so sorry. Ben Hagavaki. I
was a tough
tried.
one. That was a
There you
tough
go.
one. That was a
Your
tough one.
boy that I met through you, which I did know from before. Thank the Lord I met him. He's coming. Karam. He's going to be
yeah.
at the show. He is going to be there.
Funny guy.
Yes,
Funny
no,
guy.
man. He's funny, and his people. You mentioned it in the podcast.
Yeah.
His people rolled in. I was at the one show grabbing a couple Designer Dank pre-rolls, and his boy was getting some, and I gave them a shout out saying your shit is good.
Oh, yeah.
He bought some and gave them to me.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, damn.
This guy went out like the Robin Hood.
No,
Yeah.
and he is. Those guys are good. I know I'm going to see him at the show and stuff
Shout
like
outs
that.
to Karam.
But again, I'm going to have a closer, Harv Asp. Katao is closing. He's great. Again, the host. First of all, these comedians that are coming on. So there's a lot of people out there that are vetted. They've been going to do shows. They do comedy clubs. They do a lot of the shows, not specifically, but a lot of these people on the show are people who are actually a lot newer to the comedy scene, which I am as well. I've been under 6 months. A lot of these people are under 6 months. A lot of people are under me, just over me. A few of these guys have been in it longer. But it's a showcase where everybody can get up and do their thing. I'm lucky enough to have an environment between you guys to be able to have that venue and do something, not just for myself, but to help, because I'm big on support. Y'all know that I do it in my jokes. Yeah, it's good to support your fucking kids, even if it's child or, court order and shit and boobies and all of that. But really and truly, it's good to support.
And hey, we have a little tidbit of Dave's comedy as well on quadcast.ca if you want to get a little 1 minute, 2 minute teaser of his act there.
I'll have that over real soon. But again, these people are coming. I just want to thank them for helping me out. These people are all bringing fire, for real.
And that's beautiful. That's all about community. I love that idea.
And again, I have the ability to have this spot to be able to do this. This is my second. I had one in the same location on November 5th. And it was funny. That was my first one. This one is a lot better. Again, it's a fun family environment. Y'all can sit back, free. There's giveaways. There's. You guys mentioned in another show. Yeah. It's a $5 event. Listen, if you go on Eventbrite, which we prefer,
think on Eventbrite it's like $666.
It is exactly $666. That is no joke. I did not plan that for people who know me. It is the devil's number, but the devil is the brother of an angel. He is an angel. So play with us, right?
That's it.
Hey, listen, it's going to be a good night. All of these people are bringing fire. I bring it a little different way when I have a show. All the comedians are going to have their set. We'll have a little slight break in the middle. Everyone can get up, go have a smoke. That hash is really good. Not that anything else was, but I'm getting fucked up. Yeah. I'm getting more fucked up.
I'm a little beyond half baked right now.
So King's Core Comedy doing the show. Funny, foul, flagrant.
Yeah.
Saturday, February 11th. Doors open around 8-ish. Come, there's going to be music. You can sit and lounge. You can eat some food, mellow out. I'll be there. I'm not going to have time to hang out with everybody because I'm working. Even though I'm putting on the show, I am not taking over the show. I am doing a 5 to less than 7 minute set, just like all the other ones, the other comics in the set. Except the headliners and that. This is not about me. Okay, my name's on that. This is not about me. This is about all of us. I have the venue. Let's have some fun. Hopefully everybody gets to know these comedians, goes out and supports all of these. I go to open mics. There's so many people to thank. I'm glad I could do this.
Well, we love it. We love the idea. This is going to be like the first of many, hopefully.
The crossover,
funny,
the comedy, and the weed thing.
Tour.
Yeah. My children, I hate on these kids so much. I hate on them.
How did you fuse comedy and weed together?
No, I've always just the comedy thing has always been there. It's natural to me. Yeah. I grew up with all of these, again, 5 drunk uncle shit, listening to all these people, being in situations that are funny, but real and dark sometimes.
But that's what brings comedy out.
And I've always smoked weed culturally. Yeah. I didn't start smoking weed when I was a kid to say, like, I'm going to be cool. I grew up in the time where it was a cultural thing, so it was taught to me in a different way. So it's always been in my... And now, at 50 plus, almost pluser, I finally have melded these two. And my kids have brought that. My kids were the ones who said, Dad, take the shot in comedy. Dad, listen, just fucking grow the balls. My middle one was like, listen, with all the bitches you've been with, my daughters come straight. She said, you don't have balls, but pretend you have them and go and stand on a mic. Man. And my youngest said, yeah, Dad, eat an edible and you can do it. And I went out.
Eat an edible and you can do it. Shout out to Dave's kids for being premium cheerleaders.
And they're the one who put me on this. They're the ones who are like, yeah, get up and go. That's what kids are for. They don't just take your support.
I got a pre-roll for all y'all when you roll up.
And you know what? They're going to hold me to that, eh? I heard that shit on the radio.
Tell them I got a pre-roll for them.
I heard that.
I'll send you home in it right now so I don't get in trouble.
And I won't even wait for the show. Okay, I shout
I
out
got
and
three
love
of them
all
here.
my babies, Peyton, Cheyenne, and Kaya. I love y'all. Y'all help Daddy go on. And because Daddy could go on, I'm sitting here. And because I'm sitting here, I'm having a comedy show. And I'm supporting other people. And I get to meld weed and comedy, which is my unicorn. And I love
that's so
unicorns.
beautiful.
Rainbows.
We thank you for it,
Whether
man.
they're mushrooms
We thank you
involved
for
or
it.
acid or
That's
not.
sick.
I love fucking the support. It's so fun. It's so fun. I've
And
met
that's-
so many people and it's so fun.
We're so lucky to be. I mean,
Without drugs, it's fun.
Well, any way you chop it, any way you chop it, being able to this is the network we've been able to do. Just going to a few shows, and even doing the quadcast and meeting Laura from GMAS Goodies and
Shout
Kelly.
out to that Venus Vixen voiced. Don't worry about your voice, baby.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
like, yo,
Don't worry about your voice, baby.
We were talking about that. You know why I took a poll? Just so, Laura, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You're probably gonna hate me. I took a quick poll, and everyone thinks you're on crack if you think there's something wrong with your voice. There's nothing wrong with your voice, my friend. Please come on the next podcast. And
Great voice.
Great voice.
Oh, and can I do a quick shout? Listen, I know she said something about some sort of bong or some sort of thing that she wants. She shouted out her family.
She's a specialist compared to us.
Okay, so what I want to say is I don't know if she does need help. I figured I could tie in a little something. She was getting some weird, crazy pictures of some white booty bitches, and she doesn't want that. Everybody, she does not want the pictures. But listen, I'm willing. I'm all about support.
There you go,
And listen,
Laura.
if there's any way, Laura, tell these people y'all can send your big booty pictures to @King's Court Comedy.
man.
And for every booty picture I get, I will donate.
Oh, man.
I'm not even joking.
You hear
I will
this?
donate $2 Canadian, that is Canadian, towards getting her this bong. If anybody wants to support, so I'm supporting, I'm helping out.
You're
Big
not
booty
around?
bitches, I unfortunately will have to scan through them. I mean, I do what I have to do. But,
What a man.
we can try to get her this pipe. You see, I really do listen to this show, and I'm willing to. That's $2 Canadian, y'all.
$2
That's
per
$2
picture.
Canadian, up to the value of so much. I'm sure her family will help, but us as a community, from the
See that? Dave's an
416
avid
to our
listener.
people in Philly,
Yeah.
us
Laura.
in the comedy and Cannaverse
That's
can
how much
try
they
to
love you
help
out here.
this Venus voice vixen help
Venus
get her
voice
pipe.
vixen.
We can do this. Yeah,
We
she
can do
sounded
it. It's a
great.
family
and I don't know
affair
what
right
that
now.
pipe is, but
We
yeah,
got
let's
it.
do this.
What do you
and
say, Laura?
I mean, I will look at the big booty pictures.
gonna look
Send them
at-
to @King's Court Comedy. Don't send them to her. She doesn't need to see that. She's
Stop
a pretty
sending
white girl working at
That's
meal
it.
kitchens
No
in Philly
more
and shit.
booty
Stop
pictures.
sending
Girl.
booty pictures to Laura. Leave
Yeah.
Laura alone.
@King's Court Comedy.
Send them to King's Court Comedy. I'm going to put the info in the description.
It's all about support.
And it's all about support. That's what we're all about here. So shout out. You hear that? Dave's on record right now. Saying $2. I'm gonna personally send him a picture right now, the big booty bitch, and start the ball rolling.
Start it.
I'm not even joking. I'm not even saying that as people don't know me. You guys do know me.
Yeah. Of course.
The one thing I will hold dear outside of my kids and my family and shit, and not this career. This is a passion for me, the comedy thing.
Yeah.
So it isn't about the ups and the downs. This is what I like doing, and you're gonna take punches. There's gonna be whatever. But I
Always,
like
buddy.
doing it.
It's only worth doing it if you're passionate about it.
But it's nice to be able to do this and get out and be me.
Fucking right.
You know, it's great.
As you should.
I lost train
As we
because
all
you guys
should.
put me in the kitty litter and hash and all of this shit. Yeah,
I'll be honest, that
It is a lot
fucking
of
joint
weed.
is fucking me up
So
really bad.
Just to keep y'all up to date, we've pretty much gone through since the beginning of this podcast. I think about 3.5 grams of like premium flour and about a gram and
Awesome
a
black
quarter of
hash.
Yeah.
real like old biker school,
Yeah.
like I was mentioning that I bought some. It's like that real old school black. When I was at the market, so I wanted to get some hash.
That's the place
Because
to
again,
do
I'm
it,
going
man.
to Barbados again, so people
Yeah.
have to be supported. People
Yeah.
have to understand what's going on.
wanna spread
right?
the love.
and
Just
that's
spread the love
exactly what I
internationally.
got to do. So I got some, and there was a couple of varieties. And instead of saying, you know, he was like, "There's a Moroccan, whatever, blah blah blah," and I said, "Okay." I said, "What about that?" And he said, "Well, it's kind of like just a black. My dad's." I bought that on the venues. This is what my dad smokes.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's the biker shit that I
Yeah.
was talking about, that
Biker
real
black.
shit.
The
And
old
that's
school.
what we're smoking now. That's like
school.
real freaking hash.
It hits you good, you know. It
Oh,
hits you good.
not that I'm going to be stoned when I leave here. I was stoned 10 minutes in. But thank God I can take the bus home. But I'm probably going to walk slowly and a little.
Well, it's all downhill down the road from here.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's all downhill from your end anyway, bro.
It's all downhill.
Yeah, man.
And the roads
it's
are
all
kind of icy, so
downhill.
maybe you can just skate back. You
Well,
know?
that's the one thing about being Afrophibious, right? The
Afrophibious.
black and white thing. Yeah, because I can swim. I'm kind of a superhero in the hood because I do know my kids. They do know and love me. And I also can skate and I can swim, right? So getting home,
that's
I
fucking
actually
weird.
slip and slide, not only because I don't have balance and shit. It's fun for a brother, you know?
It's
It isn't
fun.
all, you know, I understand some people think, oh, there's a black guy out there in the cold. He must have a bail stipulated curfew. Or there's a white girl with big booty with jerk chicken and butter biscuits at the end. But
Oh,
some of us are out there and can skate and stuff like that, you know?
And props to you guys.
I am going to break the mold for all Afrophibious and ebony-ish down to light yellow, whatever you want to call it.
Oh my
I'm breaking
God.
the mold, motherfuckers.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
stoned and don't want to sit on the bus with 30 people.
That's what I want. That's, you know what? Once again, the truth is funny.
Yeah.
The truth is that's
Did
living
I
proof.
just tell the truth?
Yeah,
Living
and if
proof
it
that
hurt,
truth
if it
is
hurt
funny.
anybody, that's too bad.
I love my kids.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we love
that's all that counts.
we know we love those kids.
And I
we
love
know,
you guys too. No rainbows attached.
Thank you, buddy. We love you too. No rainbows, man. No problem.
So,
Nothing wrong with
Super
rainbows.
D,
Rainbows
nothing
are
wrong
fun.
with that. There's anything wrong with that.
No, rainbows are great.
what do you want to
Just so you
leave
know.
our listeners with?
We're allowed our opinions too, right? Everyone's allowed their opinion.
First of all, the first thing I want to leave everybody with is you have to tell everybody about the Quadcast.
Yeah.
I know you can hear it on Spotify, no YouTube. If I'm
Apple
sure
Music,
it's Apple
Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio.
Am I correct?
Yeah, you want to go
Yes.
to www.quadcast.ca for all the up-to-date stuff. Things like this interview, tidbits from this interview. We're going to do a little mini video collage of it as well.
Some of Dave's upcoming
Some of
events
Dave's
and
upcoming
shows.
events and
I'm
shows
just going to
as
be hitting
well.
up some open mics and that, but we have a show coming up, and I'm telling you, come out. It's going
Yeah.
to be off the hook. It's
And
not
make
only
sure
a
you follow
post-birthday
him.
party.
Follow him on Instagram
And
so
again,
you
it
can
isn't
see
even about
all the
following
shows.
me. I would love you to follow
February
me. It's
11th
great,
is just
but
the one show he's doing. There's a lot of shows.
for
He's
now,
always,
there's more coming. There's
always
more coming.
keep
There's
your
more
eye
coming.
out for
On
open
lots
mics
of
he's
shit,
doing. He's doing
podcasts,
open mics.
mics. I'm going to be doing an open mic. I'm going to organize getting an open mic together out in the East End.
I
There's not too many.
believe there's going to be one coming up February 18th. There's going to be an open mic at the Danforth.
I'll be there and I'll be
Beautiful.
in on it. And if not, I'll be in on that one, or
Good.
I will be setting another one up for
Good.
the Danforth. I was
Yeah.
maybe possibly with Blazers Market.
That's
we might
what
be
we're
trying to
talking
do
about.
want to try to get some comedy
Yeah.
in at some of these Blazers
That's right.
markets.
Yeah, that's
have
right.
a little bit of humor and getting high at the same time.
We
Fun
love it.
for
We
everybody.
have a little bit of music, a little bit of comedy. You know, I mean, I think
Some
that's
empanadas.
nice.
Yeah,
You have a couple of
empanadas.
choice vendors there.
But
some
again,
empanadas.
quickly, so February, Saturday, the 11th, doors open at 11 o'clock, goes 11:30-ish, music, fun. Totally, completely safe environment. $5 show on Eventbrite at 666. Lineup
Yeah.
of killer comedians. You never know who is going to stop by, too.
Yeah.
I have met so many people in this community that you never know who's going to stop by.
And
So
never
I'm
mind,
telling
there's
you,
also raffles,
you
prizes.
there's raffles,
Yeah.
there's
Giveaways.
giveaways.
Lounge
It's-
is open until 1
everybody's
as
taken
well.
care
Yeah, the
of.
lounge is
Listen,
open till 1
this
a.m.
my parties as King's Court Comedy now. A quick shout out to me at King Court Comedy. I'm not
Make sure. And we're
also
putting
doing
all
this
the info. We're gonna
comedian
have
and
the link
stuff
for
like
the
that, but I
Eventbrite,
also
too.
host and promote this. The feeling that I am bringing to this industry now, and that outside of every person, every comic in my show, everybody attached to this gets paid out of my pocket. It has nothing to do with the door, nothing to do with raffles, nothing to do with everything. I
It
just
is
want
all
to
about
make
the passion
that
for
sure.
it.
This is not about making money.
Either-
This is about throwing a late 1980s, early 90s jam where
Yeah.
everybody
Take it
can
back.
come and have fun and have some food and some good laughs and smoke some reefer. Everybody's willing to hang out.
I'm getting
Hell, I'm
hyped
handing
up
out
already.
edibles at the door. My
I'm getting
daughter,
hyped up
already.
Cheyenne.
I can't
Cheyenne
wait.
is a big part of this. She is the girl at the door. Throat
Shout out
punch
to
with a
Cheyenne.
smile. Big time. You got to check. It's
Throat punch with the
throat
smile.
punch with a smile.
That's
out
what
to
it's
Cheyenne.
all about.
My party, no one's trying to sneak in and say how much is it. Everyone's going to come. They're going to look for Cheyenne to
give her that $5,
Well, we'll
which
tell
again
them
is
this.
going
It's
back
$5
into
at
the
door.
community.
It's $5 at the door.
And
$6.66
$6.66
because of Eventbrite, not because
It
of
would be
us. It's
appreciated though if you
$6.66
go
on
through
Eventbrite.
Eventbrite though for that $1.66.
Just so they know you're coming.
I ain't
Saves
giving
us a
you
lot
your
of trouble
dollar
at the door,
Yeah.
people.
You know what? If you come and you pay $5 at the door because we got to get lower this pipe, right? Y'all want to throw? We're gonna have a jar for an
There you
extra
go.
$1 to get this fucking
I
pipe
love
for
it.
because I know y'all gonna hold me to this pipe thing and a whole bunch of $2
We're gonna
is a
have
lot.
Laura's
So we're
pipe
gonna have a
jar.
Laura jar. Laura, we're gonna get this
Laura's
pipe. I
pipe
don't know.
jar.
You're gonna have to pay for shipping and services, but you
I'll
are
take care of
definitely
that.
okay.
Quad
We
guys
got
will
that.
take care of shipping and
We're gonna get
services.
you that pipe, baby girl.
Yeah, we're gonna
And
set it
designer
up.
Dank's gonna pitch in.
Thank you
Designer
very much
Dank will
again
pitch
for the
in too.
shout outs. Funny, foul, flagrant.
Absolutely.
February
Febu-
11th.
There you go. It's a Saturday. Everybody come out. It's fun for everybody. It's
Yeah,
comfortable. You definitely will have fun. It's not the last you see of us carried
Smoke
away,
a
boys.
blunt, smoke a spliff, watch some amazing city comedians come in from Toronto, from all around the surrounding areas in Toronto. These are comedians that, once again, have done multiple sets in the city at multiple clubs up and
And
down.
new ones that are bringing fire.
New ones that
Yeah.
are bringing
Bringing fire.
man.
You wouldn't know they're new unless I told you they're new. So just to let you know,
And that's what
everyone's
we're trying
bringing
to support
fire.
new talent. We're always trying to support
Local
new talent.
new talent.
In comedy or the cannabis industry.
That's what
We're-
it's all
we're-
about.
We're lovers
Yes.
of both.
Big
we're
ups,
lovers of
brothers.
both. And yeah, I mean, like, we'll end it on this, I guess. Cat Williams.
Oh, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm glad you brought it because we forgot we were at the end. Bless Cat.
Cat
I
Williams
love
had
him.
some of the best cannabis content
Oh,
in his stand-up.
smoking weed
Yeah.
around white
Yeah.
people is
Oh,
the
yeah.
best
Oh,
you can
man.
get.
Him
Yeah.
in that little green suit.
Oh,
my
no,
God.
okay, yeah, he might look like a freaky black elf and shit like that.
But
He-
that's my
Oh, no, I'm
favorite.
just saying
and
that's
real,
special. That's
raw.
special.
That shit is raw
Every
and
one of his
real.
specials
Every
are
time
amazing.
they get a new strain, they want to be bragging. This one's called Death.
Yeah.
You mean I'm gonna die when I
Yeah.
smoke this?
No,
man.
give me that.
Death.
Yeah, give me that.
Give me that.
Just like back to the point earlier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me
man.
that shit. That knock a nigger out, give me some.
That's
Sorry
it.
I said Negro, but I'm half and half.
Once again, this is a free speech, free country situation here.
Yeah,
Everything
but free
is based.
costs a lot of money, y'all.
Free
Let's
costs-
not get into
free
that.
costs-
Yeah,
Freedom
let's not get into that
costs
one.
a lot of money. Let's not go into
Context
that.
is
This was
But the
cannabis and comedy.
Yeah, but $5 is pretty much free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$5.
And you're getting taken care of at the door.
I'll
When
tell
you
you
come in,
this.
you're getting taken care of before you even sit down.
100%. And once again, we only charge the $5 for the sake of analytics,
Exactly.
and knowing who's coming, so we can take care of some of the comedians for the amazing job they do. They're taking next to nothing,
And they're taken care of already.
and they're taken care of already. And you gotta
And
understand, like,
food, drinks. We're gonna make sure that
we're
there's
lucky
enough.
there's guys like King's Court Comedy out there supporting these guys, bringing them out, putting them out in front of a new audience, putting them out in front of an audience who's just dying to see some good comedy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, comedy and cannabis go hand in hand all the time, as we just talked about.
And
Let's
hash.
keep bringing people together. Let's keep
And
bringing
hash.
people
And
together.
hash. And mushrooms.
Yeah, and
And LSD,
everything.
yeah.
Use
DMT.
accordingly, and remember, no matter what, I don't care who you are and how good you think you are of a swimmer. Start out in the shallow end.
Stick
There
your
ain't
pinky
nothing
in.
wrong.
Stick your
starting
pinky toe
out
in
the
first.
shower end.
Test the water
You know,
first.
From microdose to a heroic dose, there's a
100%.
big
Yeah.
motherfucking difference.
Oh,
but
geez.
5 is deep and dark and great.
We all started on baby food.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
exactly.
Tastes like shit, but we got used to it, right?
Well, Dave, man, it's been a freaking blast having you, man.
This has been amazing,
awesome.
man. This has been an amazing time. We smoked a lot of weed. We made
Damn
a lot
right.
of good. We talked a lot about cannabis culture and the film industry and the TV industry and comedy.
Could have went so much deeper. This is awesome.
We could have.
Awesome.
Listen, we're doing another one soon. Obviously, you're going to be joining us.
Anytime you even want to sit in, I will sit
Oh, we're
on
gonna
a
have-
couch in the corner. At any time you want to throw me and ask me, I will sit quietly as a live audience member.
No.
And I'm telling you, at any if I could, I'm telling you, you just holler at me. I am here.
Well, I'll tell you this for sure.
Whether I'm
We're going to have
skating
you.
or not.
Episode 10, we're hoping. Episode 10, we're hoping to be our first video one. So it's gonna be like
yeah.
shit.
We're gonna definitely have you on for that one.
Oh.
We're gonna do that one at the Dank Fourth Lounge.
Oh,
so that'll
beautiful.
Be kind of fun. Yeah, we're
Beautiful.
actually gonna make a little party of it afterwards.
Shout out. Beautiful.
We're gonna try to do it live. We can't promise anything as of
No.
yet, but we'll see.
We'll
Well,
aim
any
for
help
one.
or
We'll aim
anything
for it.
that you need from myself, and I know I can say with my daughters, you got us. We
I know,
good,
and I
we solid,
appreciate
and
it.
got you for anything,
I
boys.
appreciate it.
Right
We're
on.
so glad once again to be in an opportunity to have a platform where we can promote people like yourself and people in the legacy market who are doing things for the betterment of other people, like trying to make them smile, like trying to make them healthy, like trying to make them sane, and loving doing it. That's the key. I mean, whether you're a craft grower or a comedian, at the end of the day, you're being severely underpaid to put forth a premium product in either situation. And we want to thank any comedian that comes through and craft grower that comes to the market. We also obviously want to thank Dave for joining us today. It was amazing
Thank
having
you guys
him on
very
here.
much. Thank you so much.
Remember to visit www.quadcast.ca for information on everything we spoke about today, as well as the newest podcasts and trailers for upcoming podcasts. And
This is Mayhem.
and this is GrofessorX,
and this is David Seeley at King's Court Comedy. These guys are the best.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Have a great night.
Cheers.
I'm so high right now. I have no idea what's going on.
I see chalice, we are like that. Light up the bong, and we are light up the bong. We be bong bong. I see chalice, we are light up the bong.
You don't have to be a part of the wave when you provide the water. God damn it.
That was liquid.
I provide the water. I don't gotta follow a wave. I provide the water. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to break that barrier because I'm a hustler of all sorts.
Yes.
I've sold water to wells.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I've sold, totones to people who sell platanos.
Yeah.
You